Welcome, chess world, to another State of Chess.com. It has been a minute. This is our end of year show, our quarter four show, and it's a pretty big show. We got a lot in store. Before we get into that, for those who don't know, this show is also your chance, the community, to sound off. It's my favorite show. I feel like it's the show where we get to get into all those questions that come up in chat throughout the year while we're doing chess commentary and we can't focus or fully digress into a side topic about the future of chess events or strategic stuff or products and features. But that's what this show is. This is the show where we get into all of those topics and more. And so many of you have been kind of waiting. What is it? What are these big announcements? What is today going to bring to the chess world? And on that note, let's go ahead and bring up our run of show here. That's right at the top of the list. You kind of knew it. You kind of guessed it. Some of you who follow it know that Chess.com's acquisition of the Play Magnus Group is official. While that may seem like, yeah, duh, to you, it's actually been a lot. There's been a lot going on, and it means a lot for what we're going to be now allowed to talk about and getting into. We have been two separate companies for the last 6 months, even if you didn't think so. And now we really get to get excited together as little chess kids and talk about all the fun things that we're going to be doing next year. And there will, of course, be a lot of specific announcements with that, too. Probably one of the biggest ones for those tuning in here is what's going to happen to the future of the events, right? The Champions Tour and all that was, Chess.com's Global Championship, all the things we do. No longer will those be separate. What are the specifics of that, and what are our goals going forward? What does it mean for the players and the fans? That's going to be a big topic. The Magnus Carlsen interview, everyone has circled, right? So if you're doing nothing else, you will definitely be tuning in to hear what Magnus has to say, not just about this deal, but about a lot of things. We got some questions prepared for him, and he's going to talk about the future of his career and the future of what he sees for the game online and for these companies. Of course, we're going to get specific about some of the Chessable and Chess.com product integration features. For those watching this show, we tend to know we have a very motivated, a very dedicated chess audience because you're tuning into this show on a Wednesday morning when you should be working. So by definition, if you're here, you want to hear what we have to say about Chessable and Chess.com. And we're going to talk about a lot of things with that. And then if you missed the memo, we crossed 100 million members. There's actually a big announcement that we're going to do to celebrate that, with tons of giveaways to fans and a huge event coming in quarter one of 2023 to celebrate it. And finally, we will, of course, be ending the show with an AMA, as we always do, where someone asks a question, they poke the bear, Danny sounds off, PR tells Danny later, you shouldn't have said that, but we do it anyway. We do it every show, and it's a ton of fun. So make sure you tune in for the AMA at the end of the show. But all right, we've set the table. I hope that you're ready, everybody, and going to stay with us all day. We mentioned at the top of the list that it was the acquisition that went through finally, and two guys who probably worked harder than anybody to help bring that to life
are going to be joining us in just a second. I'm gonna bring up a kind of a board for us to get through as we talk to the two respective CEOs about what this actually means that we formally acquired the Play Magnus Group. What does it mean for the better opportunities for the chess world, and all the other things that we want to do together. So on that note, I think we should bring them in. Let's bring them in. They're, you know them, you love them. They are the CEOs, respectively, of Chess.com. Eric Olivest and Andreas Tomei are now with us. Guys, so happy that you're here. Eric, I'm going to throw it to you first and say you have to pick one, because I want to balance this here. You're not allowed to say the 50 things you're excited about. What is one of the things you are most excited about that we've gotten this over the line to start doing things together with the Play Magnus Group?
I'll just say, as a fan, seeing Hikaru and Magnus face off in the Speed Chess Championship as we did earlier, my greatest dream already came true. So hopefully a lot more of that. I'm super excited to see that and hear and watch more just amazing top level chess. Seeing all the tour and championship come together, and all the events going forward. And then again, as a fan and someone who wants to improve even more, like I want to help more chess players improve, and working with Chessable to do that is massively exciting. So those are some of the top ones. There's many more. Yeah. There's many other great things that Play Magnus has that's coming to join in the Chess.com family. But I'll focus on those for now.
Yeah, I gave you only one, so that's good. Those who don't know Eric is a fan, he legitimately is a fan. He's watching every single show and giving feedback in real time, sometimes driving us crazy. Can I say that? It's true, though. But Eric watches more chess content than probably anybody in the world. Andreas, thank you so much for being here, man. I know this has meant so much to you this year and getting this through. You guys worked so hard and built something super special over the last few years with Chess.24 and the Play Magnus Group and the tour. So I'm going to kind of ask you like a different version of the question, not just what you're excited about, but this year, what was the moment, if anything, or what was the tipping point that for you kind of cemented that you knew this was the right home for your family and for your community that you guys have built and coming together with Chess.com? What was the one thing, if there was one thing, that really felt right to you about getting this thing done?
Thanks, and it's actually really good to be here. I watched the State of Chess a few times, and it's a bit surreal to actually be on this show in a good way. So, when it comes to like, if there was a time, I don't know. It was a very long process, as you said. So I had a lot of time to like think about if this was like, is this the right thing to do? I think what I want to say is that we look at many different stakeholders. So it's both, is this the right thing for the community, for our fans? That was like one aspect. The other one is for our employees. And then, of course, also we had owners, people that had believed in our company. So I would say that, as we got to know each other, what was the most important thing for me was when I saw that, our missions were very aligned. Maybe we articulated them a little bit differently, so like Eric talks about, growing the game. We talked about it in a slightly different way, but like I felt it meant the same. So, so that was huge. And, as when I got to, meet you and I saw that our teams met you, how we kind of came together. And then it's like the cultural fit of our people, like the teams that are, the people that are working for Chess.com, work for Play Magnus Group, they are generally very, very passionate about chess. And, when these people are allowed to work together, I think it's like much better that that's being done in one company than like in two separate companies. So like it's not like, it wasn't like one moment, but it was probably like more gradually. But it was a great process. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes sense. A lot of little things adding up overnight at times, it seems. And Eric, I'm going to throw to you. We'll keep working through the different points that this means. Andreas was mentioning the mission, obviously growing the game. Today, we'll just share with the world, you had an AMA just for our company, right? Talking, our company's growing. We've got a lot of people involved now and two companies coming together. What are some of the things that are being talked about internally that people are excited about? And when you talk about the mission and our culture, what would be your message kind of on that topic, just speaking internally about our groups of people working together before we even talk about what it means for the fans?
Yeah, I mean, our missions, we've got, I guess, 3 missions in our mission statement. One is to serve the community, one is to grow the game, and the other third one is to be the best possible place to work on the planet. And that's creating an environment where people can work on a mission, where they feel enabled and empowered as like a human, and to work in a remote environment in a very global and diverse company, and to feel really empowered in their role and to grow. So bringing even more people together with this, we're now at 600 plus people. And so, to create that level of environment for that many people is a challenge, but also an amazing opportunity, and one I'm very much looking forward to. I would answer with that primarily.
You just said 600 plus people, and I almost blacked out a little bit. That's crazy. That's even a thing for a little chess company. Yeah, that's where we're at. Andreas, I guess we'll start to transition to the fans here, and I'll let you kind of be the first to address. As a fan of chess yourself, what are you most excited about? Right, Eric mentioned the tour and Hikaru and Magnus on Sunday. What gets you super excited about what we're going to be doing in the coming years here?
Yeah, no, I want to follow up a little bit on that actually, because I think what we should be very proud of, all of us, is we had this chess boom, so a lot of good things happened for chess in the last years, and so many people came and started to watch. But that was not enough, right? It was the fact that Play Magnus Group on our side, we created the Magnus Carlsen Chess Tour that became the Champions Chess Tour. That I think was very important innovation on our side. You created great events with Poke Champs and others. So there was a market momentum there, but like we took it and we did something with it, and that's the reason why I think the growth continues. The growth of chess didn't stop after the pandemic; it just continued to go, and that was because we all did something together. And I think and Eric touched on it, right? So I think the fact that our events are coming together, and it can be like one place where all the best players are competing. And I also think over like a whole season, I think that's something that is quite important for a sport, that like you have something that goes on over a long time. I like that. So that's like one area which is very exciting. The other one is obviously around learning, and Chessable and we have invested a lot into like creating tools and content for people that don't only want to play, but that really want to improve and learn chess. And we are very, very excited about seeing some of the creators and some of the content creators on Chess.com also have the opportunity to come over to Chessable and create courses. I think that's another area that's pretty huge.
Yeah. Well, you're teasing some up ahead. Speaking of creators and some big commitments of some of the biggest streamers and names in the world. Just we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, to make sure that we deliver on a bunch of little announcements that feel kind of big on a big day. Eric, I want to get to the third bullet point in our slide, if we bring that back up, because now that Magnus Carlsen is an ambassador, have you guys talked about your constant impersonations of him, and are we still going to see that? What is in the future for you as Magnus Carlsen?
How can you ask me that? I don't even know if Magnus has seen that. I don't know what he thinks about it. I expect to get like a WhatsApp message in a moment, like, never do that again. I have no idea.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that he feels that way. I think a lot of people are looking for Faster Heart as a future sponsor. But all right, okay. Eric, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Andreas mentioned. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm so excited to have Magnus as an ambassador. I mean, he is. I mean, the greatest chess player we've ever seen, and so him to play on our platform is phenomenal. I mean, and again, like when we started Chess.com, we picked like the humble pawn as our logo because we wanted to be chess for everyone. It wasn't the king logo because we were for the kings, but it was just chess for everyone. But to see that eventually over time that we now are the platform still for everyone, but including the king of chess, like,
right.
It's pretty awesome for me as a fan, and pretty humbling for me as, one of the people who started this company.
Were you surprised to see that a Sunday match after the World Cup between Hikaru and Magnus drew what it did, or are you just like, no, checks the box? That's what everyone wants to see.
I mean, was there a World Cup? I don't remember, because
yeah, exactly.
there was a Speed Chess Championship that blew minds.
Yep.
It was our second most viewed show ever. Like, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, crazy. Well, we're going to get into all that and a lot more events coming up, and of course some questions for Magnus on whether he was surprised and how much he's already maybe looking forward to revenge. I don't know how many people were surprised by Hikaru's victory. Sorry, I can't go full fan mode. We got to keep talking through these points. So, Andre, for you, of course, we are going to be getting questions from our community. Reminder, chat, if you're here watching, queue up some good questions and make them good ones, make them tough ones. The team who's working hard is going to bring them to us. We're going to start getting to your questions in about 5 minutes. But Andreas, going back to the company stuff, this is obviously it's a new world where we're all together, and today we're going to talk as much as we can about what we know that means. But there's also things we don't know that are coming. But you're I guess. Anything else you would want to say, I guess, in terms of what this has meant to your team specifically, more than the community, to kind of join forces in some ways? Because there have been ways where we've been kind of competing a little bit, right? And that's going away, where we don't have to kind of be punching at each other anymore, right? Let's just call it what it is. What are the things that you're excited about from that perspective?
No, I was thinking a bit about this. Like, I haven't worked in this chess world as long as you. I worked there for about now 5 years, since I joined the Play Magnus app and Magnus. I think it was back in 2017. And, I can hardly recognize the landscape, right? I mean, so many things have happened in that short time. Very, very exciting things. We have been, as I said before, I think we've been extremely lucky. But it's not only enough to be lucky. You have to do something with it. And we, as people working in this in this industry, we have done a really good job over the last years. I was thinking also about the number of people when I heard the 600 number. I think if you go back to 2017, how many people were then working in Play Magnus and Chess.com together? I would say it's probably less than 100 people, something like that, right? So what I'm really excited about is basically this huge community of now, millions and millions of people being active on our platforms. All the creators, all the people doing stuff, on the streaming platforms, on the content creation side, combined with the 600 people that is working in our company, that's going to create some, I think, amazing products. I don't know what they are. I don't think probably nobody knows what they are, but it's going to come some really, really cool stuff out of that. And there is a lot of energy here. So that's probably what makes me most excited.
Yeah, I love it. Well, okay. We're going to talk about what it means for the community. I'm watching you chat. I know the community's bringing us questions. So let's get some specifics, right, on the agenda. Let's bring up some of the specific points. We know it's going to mean stronger content, probably some more focused content to the different types of groups that we know are out there in terms of chess enthusiasts. Consolidation of our events, the best players under one roof. But in reverse order, Eric, I want to start with you. There's something I have circled there, the third one down, the improved insights with Aim Chess. One of the companies within the Play Magnus Group family that maybe you didn't know about, Aim Chess, has a lot of expertise in this area. We've been building a lot of things from an insights perspective. So, Eric, why don't you talk a little bit about that? You can choose another one from our product menu, but I think a lot of people are interested, right? It's advanced analytics for chess. How do I get better? Not just instant feedback about a game, but about all of my games and where I can improve as a player. So take it away from a product chess fan perspective. What gets you excited about that?
Yeah, I mean, Aim Chess has built some really amazing technology, and they do have, users and subscribers there who play on Chess.com and play other places and upload their games and get some insights. And people who want to continue using Aim Chess will be able to do that, and that can be their home. But also, we hope to bring that technology to Chess.com as well, where, 10 million games plus are played per day. And if we can feed that in, for those of you who haven't checked out your insights, it gives you some really interesting things there, but there's more that can be said. And over time, that's an area where we want to invest, because the more you can learn in some ways passively from the games you're playing and pick up some insights, oh, that's something that I do, or that's something I can learn from, or, oh, that points to a weakness in my game, or or there's a course that meets my needs and will help me improve in this opening or thing. So there's a lot of pieces of this ecosystem that will come together around learning and playing and learning and improving that come at the end of the funnel of playing. So you play games,
Right.
and then what do you do after that? What are your takeaways, and then what can you work on? And so this acquisition in many ways helps us, flesh out that funnel better. But more games are played on Chess.com than anywhere else by far, and so it makes sense for us that continues on in this journey, and Aim Chess is a big part of that.
Yep. When we talk about recommending courses, when are we deleting the hard line of code that says never mention an Anish Giri course? Like, is that required as part of this, or who's in charge of that?
That code's being pushed live right now. Anish, we are. As someone who has spent time with Anish, obviously we like to tease each other a little bit. No, we're so excited. Like, there's so many great creators, as you said, and I don't want to spill your tea too early, but there's a lot of great creators, a lot of great courses coming, and we're just excited that the community can come together around content, and there's no more kind of awkwardness in those things. Although things with Anish and me will probably always be awkward just because of our personalities. And anyway, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep. They will remain awkward, and believe me, they are going to get more awkward on this show as we go. Don't worry about that, Anish. If you're watching, it has only just begun. All right. I had some more specific questions I want to get into about product, but I'm being told we got a lot of great featured chat questions lined up. So let's do it. Let's start diving in. So we're gonna bring up our featured chat questions first and foremost from the team. We've got, let's see. Well, I'm gonna let it be fed, but we've got questions about what you're most excited about. I think we kind of got to that. I want to ask about the commentators. Okay, what are we most excited about? I do think we talked a lot about that. I think the Champions Tour, the players under one roof, and the product there. It's a good question from the community. We'll kind of get into more specific ones as we go. I want to get to the second one that asks about the commentators coming to Chess.com, and I guess I can actually answer that and say that our plan is everybody's going to be working together, right? So rather than thinking about it as Chess24 coming to Chess.com, you might see some Chess.com commentators headed to Oslo in the studio. And again, I don't want to reveal too much about how we're going to operate with the kind of the new combined series of events for the tour, but you're going to see everybody working together. Who do you want? In fact, I'm going to ask you, community, list in chat. Do you want Robert Hess working with David Howell, or do you want Danya working with Jovanka Huska and everywhere in between, right? Again, as long as Anish Giri's not involved, I'm open to any commentary pairings that the community can come up with. So, all right, here's a good one, Eric. I'm going to throw it to you. So, will accounts and paid features on all sites, Chess.com, Chess24, be combined? What is the early plan? If you're a subscriber out there who's dabbling in all of it, what are the ways we're going to kind of navigate that and bring value to everybody?
Yeah, the honest answer is we don't totally know yet. And there's no immediate levers that we're pulling. There's no easy magic strings and dots that you kind of touch together and then it all works. It's just, that's not how code is. And there's still discussions to be had about how some of these ecosystems and products work together. So that said, we want to deliver the most we can to fans. We understand that you're paying and subscribing at sometimes in different places, and we want to make that easy for you. So we actually would love feedback from the community of how you envision this kind of working together. And so we've got some ideas, and we're starting on that process, but we haven't been able to operate as the same company. Even though we've had this acquisition being discussed for a long time, we've been acting as separate companies. And so now that this is kind of coming together, there's more discussions happening. How do we serve fans? Which tools make sense where, different things. Chessable has a classroom. Chess.com has a classroom. Are we going to have two classrooms, one classroom? Where does it live? What about features if you're following events on Chess24? Well, you also can follow chess on Chess.com events. So how does that all work together? There's a lot of questions around this. We don't have all the answers yet, but we are putting on the lenses of, we're chess fans, we're chess users ourselves. Where does this make the most sense? How do we piece this all together? And all of your feedback is very helpful with that.
Yeah, it's true. And we are going to be getting to this in a later section. We have the head of Chessable and a VP of content joining. So I'll just say there are going to be some special opportunities, some discounts and some stuff that celebrate this without getting too specific about it. But I want to get into the next question. This comes from Velvet Canyon 19, who kind of asked a similar one, which is what's going to happen to the user base of premium memberships on the PMG apps? I mean, high level, you're not going to lose anything, right? So if you're a premium user over there, everything is going to stay. There's not a disappearance of your premium membership. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I'm subscribing to the Play Magnus app and Aim Chess and this and that, like that's going to continue, right? So you're not seeing any of that disappear, and I think over time, as we look at the right ways to add value, there may be more value added both ways, from tech and user stuff to the PMG apps and the products there, as well as integrating tech and maybe adding value to the Diamond membership or whatever else you have. So sorry, Eric, I stole that one.
That's great.
Sorry, a lot of these are going to be going back to you guys. I mean, I'll ask both you guys how you're going to answer this one. A chance to swing and miss. Will this company ever go public? Andreas has some experience with that. This is a good chance to punt, but I'll let you guys answer that question. However,
Andreas, should we go public? You tell me.
What do you think about running a public company?
I can tell you that I'm not sure if I had a lot of hair even before we went public, but it's definitely more gray than what it used to be. So it's not an easy process, but maybe it's also an opportunity for more people to participate also as owners. So like, there are some pluses and minuses there. I think it's something that like is important to continuously discuss.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I understand that, and I agree. I only want to say just that a lot of people do ask and say, "Can I invest in Chess.com?" I get that question pretty frequently, and the answer is no, because when you're private, it's really challenging to do that. But I also agree with Andreas. Like, there's people who in the community who want to invest in the community. And I think it'd be great for chess to be in the hands of, of the public and people who can help steer that and invest in its future. But,
I just we're very far away. But just like a short thing there, right? Because if you looked at Play Magnus, which was obviously a much smaller company on a standalone basis, we had so many shareholders. It was so many people from around, mainly in Europe, that wanted to own a piece of these companies, because I think many of them are passionate about the game.
Yeah, which is a good sign if there were even more people who wanted to have a piece of it. We don't know the plans, as they kind of said, but who knows? All right. I want to see how we answer this one. There's a question about things for the public, not going public, but are there plans for live coaching and master classes through either of the Chess.com or Chessable classroom products? And Eric, I'm going to let you kind of answer that one however you want. Live coaching, master classes, classroom, Chessable. What do you got there?
I feel like this is your way of like needling me along of what you personally want to see. So I get it. And like, you're doing it in front of a lot of people and you're making
this came from user Zone Horse 1. So I didn't make it up.
Yeah, you're Zone Horse 1. I know you are. Anyway, the answer is that's definitely something we've been thinking of. At Chess.com, and have still just been trying to figure out the right way to do that. Andreas and I haven't synced on this. I know that they've tried this and seen some learnings there. Frankly, it's not a discussion we've had, and it's one we need to have. I don't know, Andreas, you want to share publicly in front of?
No, I think Chessable, which is of course a little bit more, should we say, it's a very engaged learning community around the authors. And as part of like when we have released some of the Chessable courses, there has also been like some master classes with the authors like combined with it. And I know that's that has been extremely appreciated by by the learners, but also by the authors. So it has been a great way for them to connect. So I think that's something we can discuss with Gert when he comes on the show later today, because it's definitely, I think it's a great question actually. Yeah.
Yep. And just to insight to the tension that everyone just felt there between me and Eric, we've been having discussions about this for probably a decade. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time, and we won't give a shout out to the other co-founder, Jay, who's not here, who also believes in this feature. Look, we believe in this big time. Andreas and Garrett and the Chessable team believe in this big time. And I think that, we've invested so much in coaching and coach the AI, but we definitely believe that there's a home for this, and there's just a lot to unpack there as far as actually bringing it to life. So, all right, yeah. I'm going to jump to the last question here. By the way, there were so many. I'm gonna jump to this came into from Knee of Tari. Knee of Tari wants to know whether Magnus will be streaming more, or when is he going to start streaming more, as if it's a foregone conclusion. I'm going to take that one and say that might be a question you should save for Magnus when Magnus is here, and I will be happy and willing to put him on the spot about that, because he and I have had a lot of discussions about that, and it might be interesting to see how Magnus feels about it. People know he has done that from time to time. And I'm going to answer one that came earlier about there being banter blitzes. Remember, we're not going to take anything away that feels bad, but one of the cool things that Chess.com has done that Chess24, hasn't invested in much yet, because they were doing good stuff elsewhere, is the streamers kind of ecosystem, right? In a lot of ways, we feel that the banter blitz merger, with helping even more of the Chess24 kind of faces to the community build their own streaming brands, is a big part of what we're excited to be able to help them do as well. So it's kind of a yes and. It's not a no, but things are going away. It's kind of a yes, and things might evolve into spaces that are even better for everyone who loves those things. So I stole one in there. I stole one and answered the Banter Blitz one too. So, all right, keep that question for Magnus. Eric and Andreas, I can't keep you here because we got a lot more to do, and you guys got a couple of companies to run that are now one company. So we're gonna let you get to that.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you for being here, guys, and we really appreciate you, and can't believe we got here.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was awesome, and the conversation could probably just keep going and get more and more just kind of behind the scenes. We wouldn't mind that, but there's a lot more to get to, and a lot of the questions you're bringing, chat, are probably going to be answered by other guests and other topics that we have coming up. For those of you just tuning in, we have a big run of show. It is the end of year, the Q4 December edition for the State of Chess.com. Plenty more ahead. When we come back, we're going to be diving in to some of the big questions about events. We're going to be talking about what the calendar and the mergers of the Champions Tour and the Global Championship mean. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're joined by 2 more special guests and diving in to a lot more that you want to know about. And we will be back in just a few.
Make a move!
Loving the world's premier online speed chess tournament? Well, you're probably going to love Chess.com's coverage of the premier over-the-board speed chess tournament.
Abdusatturov is the new Rapid World Champion!
That's right, the World Rapid and Blitz Championship commences December 26th in Kazakhstan and features hundreds of the world's best players competing in an exciting free-for-all format. Defending champions seek to extend their reign. Legends strive to reclaim this prestigious title. And aspiring talents hope to break through and win their first World Championship title. Who will win it all? Tune into Chess.com's live coverage to find out.
Just played an exciting game and want to see if you got a brilliancy? Or maybe where you could have improved? Chess.com's game review is just a click away. Game review is a fast, fun, and instructive guided review of your games. See your accuracy and your opponent's accuracy. Check out the eval graph for an instant overview and scroll down to see how many great moves, best moves, blunders, and yes, brilliancies you have played. Learn from Chess.com's coach who gives move explanations, opening statistics, and shows you the best lines of play. With retry mistakes, you can get another shot at finding missed opportunities. Try Game Review today on web, iOS, or Android.
What is this? This is duck chess, you guys.
This is a new variant. It's called duck chess.
Chess, but with a duck.
Quack, quack. How to play duck chess. The duck is a brick. Pieces cannot move through the square occupied by the duck.
Click on a square to place the duck. Oh, you put the duck to prevent moves of opponent, not yourself.
Yeah, so basically you do this, and this cannot move.
I'm gonna go knight f6, and I'm gonna put the duck in the most inconvenient place for my opponent to move. No bishop, no queen, so no Londons can permanently stop the London.
Capture the opponent's king to win. Oh, wow. Oh, there's no stalemate. Wait, there is stalemate. But the stalemated player wins. Ooh, if only that was real chess.
I think I'm getting the hang of this game now. I think I actually am getting the hang of it. I think this works. Oh, that's a horrible blunder. Oh my god, I just blundered.
I have to move something else first, then dock, and knight will take my king. This is the best way to lose the dock chess.
Those some real bullet skills right there, boys.
This is the first time winning duck chess. That's so exciting.
Oh no, mouse slip. No. I won! Yeah! Duck chess champion. Give me those points, baby.
Chess Kid is fun. Chess is great for the brain, but it's also fun to play. And Chess Kid makes it easy to have fun. Whether your child is a total beginner or a prodigy, they can hop on and find a well-matched opponent from around the world at any time. Chess Kid is the safe, parent-approved way for your child to play chess online. Chess Kid is educational. To kids, it feels just like playing, but chess is a great way to learn patience, strategy, and critical thinking. Chess Kid features a comprehensive training program that guides kids to level up on their way to mastery. There are more than 50,000 chess puzzles and a whole library of entertaining videos that teach strategies, tactics, openings, and endgames specifically for kids. Chess Kid is easy. Whether you're a parent helping your child, a coach managing dozens of kids, or a school of hundreds. Signing up is free and easy, so what are you waiting for?
My name is Ethan Curry.
Welcome back, everyone. The state of Chess.com continues here. Always feels good to get that first segment out of the way. The nerves are gone. The community is chirping. We see you, chat, and so much more to continue to dive into today. We teased before the break that we were going to dive into one of the biggest topics people have, not just because it's the events that they all want to watch with the best players in the world, but it means a lot for where you're going to watch and the channels and how we're going to break down a very busy calendar year. I'm going to quickly set the high level right now of what the 2023 kind of events menu looks like before bringing on a couple of guys who are even more qualified than me to talk about it. The Chess.com events calendar is going to start in Q1 with something we're kind of calling Team Chess Season. The Collegiate Chess League is back along with the Pro Chess League. Those two things are going to be bigger and better than they ever have been. If you haven't seen the growth in our college programs, you might be surprised within the next couple of years just how many kids on campuses around the world are playing chess and what the CCL means to them. So stay tuned for that. The PCL, you know what it is. I already know that many of the best players in the world have signed with teams, and we're going to talk about that. The streamer community events we run, they're going to continue. With a busy calendar, sometimes people might be worried, is anything going to sacrifice? The answer is no. Magnus playing Entitled Tuesdays. We have Arena Kings going. Puzzle Week will start the first week of January for those who are super into our puzzle battle tool or solving with Puzzle Rush. That's going to be coming too. But in the middle of the year, we will move into our speed chess kind of season. It's all the events you know. It's JSCC, it's Junior SCC, it's the main SCC, but of course, the Bullet Chess Championship and the I'm Not a GM SCC will also be around there too. It's the fastest events we do much earlier, right? We just wrapped up with the SCC. Now here comes the SCC in Q2. But the next thing I want to talk about is a lot of people have been asking what has happened to our celebrity kind of pro-am events, right? The last one we did was Blitz Champs in the summer, but there's a lot more coming with that. It's been kind of an interesting up and down ride for all of our PogChamps fans. So many probably watching this maybe got into chess from PogChamps. There is a lot more coming that I wasn't even allowed to put on this board because there's too many moving parts. We're doing a huge event with Rolling Stone that we are now teasing for the first time. It's going to be sexy and loud and awesome and in New York, and I can't say anything more about it. Probably said too much. More events with NFL, NBA, NHL, so many athletes interested in doing some fun stuff. And then we will have a PogChamps return. I'm not going to dive more into that, but it's all going to be happening next year. So, okay, that kind of lets you know that the investment is going to remain and the fans are going to get what they want with all the different styles of events. But probably the biggest question about this merger, and I've been watching chat this whole time, besides the fun troll questions and the questions about what Eric's wearing, does he ever put on anything but a t-shirt? No one knows. I think Eric only has t-shirts. Sorry, that's his wardrobe. But they want to know what's going to happen with the Champions Chess Tour, the Magnus Carlsen Tour, originally evolved Champions Chess Tour, then the Chess.com Global Championship. Where are we headed with that? So to help me break that down, I'm now going to bring on two guys who are more than in the weeds on this topic. They are the visionaries along with many other stakeholders, but these two guys, Chess.com's VP of Esports, Michael Brancato, joins us, and the tour director for the Chess24 Champions Tour, Arne Horvei. He is with us, joining, I believe, from Norway, Arne. And Arne, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with you, man. Again, the big topic first. Welcome to State of Chess. You are together with Chess.com. I've known you for many years, man. I know your excitement, your passion, your mission when it comes to growing the game and making it more accessible to larger audiences. So what gets you most excited about what we're bringing together into this new series, and what are you pumped to do now that Chess.com and the Champions Chess Tour are one?
Oh, where to start? It's just so amazing to be a part of this incredible evolution, I would say, within the chess world, that we bring really bright minds together that has been muddling on our different sides, and now finally can be able to, we can take what we have been doing for broadcasting chess on a level never been done before for a wider audience, take that into reach an incredible membership base that Chess.com has, and together really create some amazing events and with an incredible reach for millions of fans.
For those who didn't know, Arne Horvei is the guy who's been behind it. I see so many fans in chat who are talking about the tour and what they love about it, Arne. So that's awesome. And this is one of the guys. I don't want to give you all the credit for the team watching, but you are one of the visionaries. And so it's super awesome to have you. Michael, you've had a vision to make chess tournament formats more like Smash tournament formats since you got here. Just kidding. But that is one of the things you do. What are you most excited about in regards to the specifics? Besides just getting all the best players in one event? We know we didn't have Magnus playing in the Global Championship last year. We now do. What are you most excited about, just quick high level before we get in the details?
Yeah, so again, there's so many things, but I guess one I want to call out as the guy who had to deal with the brunt of this all of last year is having schedules that are actually in sync. Up until this point, between, the Champions Chess Tour, the Global Championship, the Rapid Chess Championships, and all the over-the-board events out there, like schedules are all over the place. They're always stepping on each other. And now that we're collaborating, we can finally coordinate on like a schedule that is cohesive and makes sense and is best for everyone involved. That's for me, that's so exciting.
No more fans choosing on a weekend or toggling between Magnus and whoever was competing in that major of the Champions Tour and the RCC and all those things. So I'm with you on that. As a fan who did too much of that, I can't wait for it. All right, we got a lot of questions, guys. We're going to have you here for the next 15-20 minutes in chat. Remember, we're going to get specific questions to them, but let's bring up the details of what we are sharing at this point. The CGC, that's the Chess.com Global Championship, and the CCT in 2023 are going to be one. This is the best of both worlds, and we will be talking about what the nomenclature is of that, how the events are called. There's a lot of work into that, but let's just say what matters is it's going to be one, and it's going to have the best players in the world in one circuit. As you can see, it's going to have a total prize fund of more than $2 million for that single event. It's a lot of money for that tour, and there will, of course, will be more prizes in the SEC and the PCL combined. But we're pretty excited to be bringing a $2 million cash prize to just that event. And then we're going to have all kinds of the formats that the players told us they really love: Armageddon, the bidding formats, the rapid time controls. So, Arne, getting all the players in one circuit, what does that mean to you as a guy who's been helping lead the vision? Last year, we were splitting up the players, right? You didn't have everybody competing in the events you wanted, and Chess.com felt the same way. What do you feel like the product really represents to fans when you know that all the best in the world are competing for this, and there's no debate about who's there? And what are you able to bring to life in those moments?
That's going to be so exciting, both to execute, but just as much for the viewers to actually know that they're going to see the best players fight it out for and really create some amazing moments of the boards. And knowing that we're going to have Magnus and Hikaru fighting in the same year-long season as some of the top names and that's going to be really, really cool.
We keep mentioning Magnus and Hikaru because all the fans see that, but I want to say again, I mean, there's everybody too. I mean, and there's a cash prize choice that had to be made in the past, and now there's just kind of one natural choice, and we'll know that all the best players will be competing for it. I want to bring up more specifics on the tour because the road to what we're calling the championship at the end of this event, right now, is going to be one that I really think combines the best of both worlds, Michael. But I'm going to let you kind of go through what you feel is most important on the format as a guy who's probably been more focused there than anyone else, right? Is it the open qualifiers you love, that anyone can compete? Is it obviously the prizes just for those events are pretty significant, but getting everybody into the final championship in December, what can you reveal about how that format is going to break down that you think is going to be super interesting for fans?
Yeah, sure. So for me, the most exciting part is the whole open qualifier system. I think that if there's one like big critique I had of the Champions Chess Tour of the past is that all the players were kind of invited to each event, and there wasn't really a chance for, I guess some of the more under the radar players to get a chance to like prove their skills and find a way in. And based on titles that players got in the past through FIDE and also our own leaderboards, anyone's going to have an opportunity to, I guess, throw their hat in the ring and be able to make their way into each of the 6 events. And I think it's going to open up a lot more opportunity for players and also create more varied fields in these events. So okay. I'm going to start there. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, you continue. I was going to cue you up, but you got nothing to say. You do you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to bring more double elimination to chess. You kind of hinted at it. It's like I'm bringing Smash formats. It's not just a Smash format, but it's one that is very popular in gaming. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of round robin, which is typically what chess events use. I think that
why is that?
The stakes
double click on that. Defend yourself to the chess community. Why
double elimination?
Why aren't you the biggest fan of round robins?
Oh, round robins. A bunch of reasons. I mean, one of them is that there is no clear like defining moment at the end. Like there's no clear like this is the finals or this is the match to determine like who wins the tournament. It's kind of like they play a bunch of games and at the end of it there's a winner. And sometimes that winner is decided before even the last round is played. And then you also have things like sometimes players are, that happens all the time. In fact, it ended up happening in the finals of the 2022 CCT. But there's also, if players get off to a rough start, then they're kind of there playing games that don't have any real implication for them because, they're already out of the running, and then they might inadvertently affect, other players' chances. And yes, there's a lot of things like that I think round robin has its place, and round robin is actually going to be a part of the playoffs format that we have here, but it won't be like the main go-to format that we use. And with double elimination, I think the stakes are exceptionally clear with every match. You get losers bracket storylines and runs there. You get who can make a deep run and reset the bracket in grand finals. Players still get more than one chance. So compared to a single elimination, if you are unlucky and get seeded versus Magnus Carlsen in round 1, well, you still got a chance in the losers bracket to prove yourself. I just think it's kind of like, I guess, the optimal format, honestly. And I'm just a really big fan of it.
Okay, it's interesting. Arne, it makes me want to throw over to you, knowing you for as long as I have, and that you've had such a great vision on bringing chess to larger audiences, and we've seen what happened with Norway since Magnus Carlsen. But it wasn't just Magnus, right? There were so many people behind helping to bring chess on these major TV networks. As Michael talks about the formats that are best for competition, what do you think about the format is going to be best for audiences, especially those who maybe don't know all the details of how some of these esports competitions or double elim and all that stuff works? Like, what to you is the most important thing about how this championship series is presented to broader fans, and what do you think they care about most?
I think that they, what they care about is the excitement and the mental battles happening between the brightest minds in the world. So even though you don't necessarily understand everything that's happening over the board itself, but you get so mesmerized by the incredible talent that these guys have in their heads, and being able to communicate that in a way that's understandable for a wide audience, even though you haven't studied a lot of chess theory from before, that is really crucial to making the game of chess grow to a wider audience. And doing like we're going to do now for the coming season, with having double elimination, having every single day count. There's going to be decisive moments every single day of the event. Then the storytelling is going to be even better to go out there for the audience as well, to understand that it's either do or die every single day of the event. And yes, you get if you die, you get a second chance, but then if you die again, you're completely out of it. And I think that that's a really cool way to take this further, because what we are doing here is we are pushing the envelope, keeping the respect of the sport, but at the same time also making it even more accessible, interesting, and up to date for a wider audience.
Makes sense. Michael, going back to the slide, we talked about the open qualifiers. We've talked in the weeds about some things we want to do with the format. We see that we are going to be, again, bringing a $200,000 first place prize. That was the richest prize for any first place victor of any tournament last year, and we'll be matching that again. But what can you say about the finals? Arne talked about it being super exciting, the fact that every day someone's life is kind of at stake. What can you tell us about the format of the finals as it compares to what the CGC was versus Champions Chess Tour? And I know we're going to be breaking down this, but just give a little teaser to the fans, kind of whet the appetite.
Yeah, sure. So there's elements of both events, which I think kind of represents kind of this union of the two previous event series. Like the Champions Chess Tour ended at the round robin, and the CGC ended on a knockout bracket. And I'm not going to go like too in the weeds here, but we're basically having a round robin playoff phase that ultimately feeds players into a 4-player single elimination bracket at the end of it. So you kind of get the element of all the best players are playing each other. But then also at the end, there's like very clear stakes. There's the semifinalists, and then there's, the kind of goes down to the final match with everything on the line.
So you are doing some round robin stuff, right? But
we are, but there's a twist to it. I don't want to spoil the twist yet, but I was going to say it's not just straight like round robin in the top 4. There's going to be a little more to it there, but I don't want to spoil that on this show.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, this is awesome. I actually was going to tee up a few questions that I just got kind of notified by our team, who's crushing it. Thank you, and our community bringing us good questions. That we got some of them that the community naturally is throwing at us that are similar to the ones we would continue to discuss. So I'm going to start at the top with 515 Rock Climber, who asked a question that we're not going to totally get into right now, but I'm going to acknowledge it because it is important. Wants to know, when the CGC and the CCT combined, what will the name be? We have been talking a lot about this, and it really matters, not just from a branding perspective and how we want to work with partners and sponsors to continue to grow the game, and hopefully by bringing in more commercialized sponsorship, we're improving prize funds and the livelihoods of the players. So it is a big deal, right? And we've been really thinking through how to do that. But to not put my foot in my mouth as I normally do, we're not going to do that right now because a lot of those discussions are ongoing. But I promise it will be clear. It'll make sense. And it will also be the kind of thing that allows us to continue to work with partners in an effective way to give them the love that they want for their support. So, all right, this is an interesting one. Kyron Hogg wants to know, how will the merger affect player ratings? I'm going to twist that into a question for you, Michael, and say that, what is the qualification process like? Is it only for titled players? Is it open to just the highest rated players? You say it's open. Just how open is it, and will ratings play a part in that?
Yeah, so ratings indirectly play a part. So titled players are always eligible to play in our events. But I think the one new thing we're doing is we're actually going to be using the Chess.com leaderboards to determine eligibility. It's for the event is going to be if you're top 500, then you are able to play in the event. And so that isn't based on just your rating, although your rating is probably pretty closely tied to your ranking, but it's actually going to be based on the ranking. So if you want a chance to play in the event, you got to go up on our leaderboard and get higher.
Okay. So not just title players, but leaderboards. So ratings really matter then. Makes sense. I mean, all right, guys, there's a ton of questions left, but there's also a world champion waiting in the wings who wants to join our show. Again, I apologize to the community. Maybe I should have jumped into those earlier. We will save some of the best ones for the end of the AMA for sure. But I want to give one more question, I guess, to Arne, because some people asking, what will the frequency of these online tournaments be? That's from Japan Night 19. And I'm going to turn that into what will be the frequency of the Oslo studio, right? The traditional kind of production team you had. I kind of know the answer to this one, but I think a lot of people want to know that the high level production stuff you guys are doing is going to stay, even if we're mixing in talent and some of the graphics and things as we're merging a new brand. How involved is the studio going to be? What's the frequency of the studio going to be for the new championship?
We are going to see the studio cover every single major in the tournament, and also the challenger and the finals happening as well. So there's going to be a broadcast with the Oslo studio, and talent you are well acquainted with, and mixing up talent, as you're saying as well, Danny. That's going to happen for each and every of the tournaments, which means about every second month.
What's the one talent pairing you want to avoid, Arne? Be honest. Who do you not want working together, just for what might happen?
Well, I don't want to have working together. Well, I tend to mean that most people are able to work together. So you put me on the spot there, but I really don't have a good answer on that. What I want the chat to help me make sure happens is that I want to see you in our Oslo studio as soon as possible, Danny.
Well, I'm excited about it. I was kind of teasing you because the trick question, that was the trick question. The answer is always, as long as Anish Giri is not working with anybody, that we're happy. So anyway, you failed that one, but we'll keep bringing you some softballs.
I'll get it next time. Apologies.
Yeah. Anyway, Arne, seriously, man, I just want to say personally, it's a pleasure. You and I have known each other, worked together. These two guys worked together the first ever official random world championship. Lots of history we could talk about, but this is super exciting. Michael, as well, thanks for joining, man. Can't wait to see this come to life. I'm going to let you both go so we can get set for the next segment and the very special guest. But appreciate it, and we can't wait for the new events coming next year.
Thanks for having me.
All right. That was Michael Brancato, VP of Esports, and Arne Horvai, who is the tour director. They're working super hard, and a lot of these things are in progress. This deal only closed a few days ago, team. I say team as in our family watching. So we're not just like avoiding things. Some of this stuff is like, we were just so excited to throw it out there, but it is a work in progress, and they are working harder than anybody to do it. All right. I am going to take a very quick break before working hard with all of you to make sure that the World Chess Champion gets all the questions we want to give him, and really we can dive into his brain in our next segment. So that's right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will be joined by none other than World Chess Champion Magnus Carlsen right here on the State of Chess.com.
We all have nicknames. Chicago is naturally where I'm born and raised, so that's how I got the name. I guess they call me the muscle. I'm the one with the passion. I'm always looking for a good fight, you know. Evidently, it don't make a difference, man. That's checkmate coming up. It don't matter. What we're trying to do is to let them know, hey, we playing down here in Houston, Texas. And if you come down here half-stepping, trust me, we're gonna beat you. You better bring your game.
don't think I've ever seen a performance like that, ever.
He is the winner of the FTX Crypto Cup.
He's going to win the tournament.
That is a Magnus masterclass.
He's the best player in the world. He's the world champion.
I'm excited to be part of it.
He is the best player in the world. He's the world champion. I think Hikaru said it best. He is Magnus Carlsen, and he joins us on the state of Chess.com. Magnus, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you.
I want to dive in to a question that I know you answered in August when we threw together that sort of quick video to announce this thing. And for those people who don't know, there's been a lot to this, right? And a lot of work to make this happen. But for you, again, what made you know, for a company that bears your likeness, a company that you built and helped found, that this was the right thing to do for chess, for the opportunity, for you yourself? If you could just speak broadly, hand you the mic, what makes you excited about this, and what made you feel like this was the right thing to do?
I think it's going to be great for both fans and players. As simple as that. Now that it will be easier for all the best players to sort of compete in the same event, and it will be easier for the fans to follow, and that's really an exciting prospect for me as well, to be constantly competing with the best in the world online, and probably even more frequently than I used to.
Yep. For you, does it feel mostly about the tour and bringing all the players together, the other things that you've been invested in, like your app, for example? My son wanted to say he can't wait to, he's played your 5-year-old Magnus Carlsen and wants to play it with the other bots. Are there anything else you would say kind of broadly that gets you pumped about this? Or for you, is it mainly about the tour and all the players under one roof?
For me as a chess player, that's certainly a big motivation, but I'm of course a shareholder as well in the Play Magnus group, and for that it's also exciting, all the new possibilities that we have, both with our apps and Chessable, the new possibilities for integration there. So it's gonna be fun to see, and hopefully generally just great for the chess fans, and
yeah, makes sense. I want to stay on the topic then as a player, and we're gonna make this a little casual kind of podcast style. I think for a lot of people, the questions they have are, what do you feel is next for you as a player? What is left for you to accomplish at this point in your career, right? This was a big year. You declined the opportunity to defend the classical World Chess Championship. You're super excited about the evolving formats of online chess. But what are your ambitions left in your over-the-board chess career, 2,900 rating, and how do you approach that? And what are your thoughts about what remains for you to kind of accomplish over the years to come?
Well, I don't have a lot of ambitions for what to accomplish, but I love the game. I love playing, so that's all the ambition that I really need, and that's why I'm going to continue to compete in the events that I enjoy.
Yep. Okay, makes sense. Then moving on from the over the board ambitions, because you're right, you don't have a lot of ambitions needed there. Makes sense. But talking about the evolution, then the game broadly, right? 200,000 plus people tuned in to you and Hikaru on Sunday, and the fans clearly love you throwing down in fast time controls, not just against Hikaru but others. You're documented as kind of wanting there to be an evolution and to embrace faster time controls, because you feel like it's the more sporting element in some of your kind of closed door discussions with FIDE. But talk about that a little bit, if you would, about what you feel is important for the game as it's evolving with these online events that lead to these live kind of finals. And what do you think is important to see in these modern chess formats to make sure that the content remains the most exciting for fans?
I think you summarized it pretty well there. I would also like to mention Fischer Random Chess, which I would love to see more of in a classical or at least slower time control. when it comes to regular chess, I feel that classical probably will be sort of phased out a little bit, at least at the top level. At least that's what I think sort of should happen. I think that the possibilities for discovering new ideas in the opening especially are somewhat limited, and you can see that in faster time controls there's still more than enough scope to play, and the game works in a great way. Obviously this is at the top level. At other levels it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, faster time controls, it matters a lot less there. It's probably better to have it that way because people have the familiarity with the positions. People can see their own theory that they play without the games becoming too boring. So yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons why faster chess is the way to go. Also, a lot of the audience, or most of the audience, is online anyway, so I think there's no reason why we shouldn't play the games mostly online as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. I want to double click on that because there's still a lot of comparisons, as there should be, right? Online chess is different than over the board. I mean, physically it feels different, like the energy of your opponent, right, is different. But online chess is where by far more and more players are playing in millions of games. What do you feel is the difference in your approach and maybe even quality of play? Like, do you feel a difference online versus over the board, or do you feel like in 5 years, if you were looking at crystal ball, that'll be a thing of the past, that the modern generation is playing just as high quality online as they are over the board? Or what are your thoughts on just the comparisons there between online and OTB?
I feel like I play in speed chess. I play a little bit better online, probably because I'm more used to that. But it's two, as you said, yeah, it's two slightly different ways of seeing the board. But overall, I'm not sure it really, in the long run, it will matter too much in terms of the quality. I also really like the hybrid events where you play online but in person in more of a esports setting. I think a lot can be done there in the future to make that very, very exciting as well.
On that note, were you surprised by the record viewership that was? It was the most watched chess show, second only to Game 6 of the 2021 World Chess Championship that you may or may not remember. You were a part of that. So this show on Sunday with Hikaru was the second most watched single chess show we've ever had. And do you feel like the SCC style and format is perfectly designed for what you said that you really like, those hybrid events with playing on a computer but in person with an opponent for fans, maybe in a live audience?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I definitely want to be part of something like that.
Okay, yeah. Were you surprised by the viewership, or you're like, no, I expect throwing down with Hikaru, I expected that?
Well, I expected it to be popular.
Yeah.
The exact numbers, I don't really have an opinion on, except that yeah, if it's comparable with the classical world championship, then that's a good thing, and I think in the future we'll probably see that online events will just be more and more popular, and also we'll see what happens with the next classical world championship.
Yeah, no.
Who knows?
Makes sense. Well, okay, we're starting to get a bunch of questions from the community, and we're going to dive in there and let the fans get some. I want to double click on one other question you said from earlier, and then we're going to dive into it. You said that you think that from a classical time control perspective, maybe Fischer Random should be actually what we're playing, shorter time controls, traditional chess. Do you see a future where you would want to be competing in slow Fischer Random chess, even slower than maybe the time controls you've played so far?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd love to see that in the near future. I mean, that's really one of my main wishes for chess coming up is to play slower Fischer random chess. True, there are going to be some positions that are just fundamentally a little bit boring, where you sort of have to follow symmetry for the first moves, but I think there are going to be so many possibilities um, as well. And I feel like the formats that we have had now for Fisher Random, they've been exciting enough, but if you have a little bit more time, then you actually have some more scope to really dig into the position and to see the sort of subtle differences there are between those positions and sort of regular chess positions. So I'm all for that, both from a sporting perspective and just for the from the perspective of learning, really.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. You said the word sporting, and I know in the conversations you and I have had that you feel like that's a big part of why you feel faster time controls might be more reflective of a player's all around skills. The sporting element of real time reaction, solving it in real time versus the computer at home, and you feel like Fisher Random might be the evolution of really challenging the sporting element of a top player. I guess summarize it. Makes sense. Speaking
Yeah,
of sporting
yeah,
elements, go ahead.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
The sport of duck chess has become popular. I'm going to jump to our first community question from two of them. Our own Chess.com Trim asked whether you played duck chess yet, and then Chess Weeb in chat wanted to ask whether you're going to be playing in a duck chess championship. So, have you played duck chess, and would you want to become the first ever world duck chess champion?
I haven't played duck chess, but I watched Hammer stream a little bit of duck chess the other day. I thought, okay, let me try to sit through one game of this. My first impression was like whoever thought of duck chess just thought, how can I take chess and make it just really boring? It seems that the games are just a lot a lot slower. It's harder to checkmate. I guess there are some other weird tactics, but I just found it incredibly boring. But I know that other people like it, so that's fine.
It's funny. I actually had a similar experience. I found it painful, not boring. I was playing IRL duck chess and getting abused because the duck just sat in the middle of the center pawns, and I can never figure out. Anyway, slow learner over here. All right, we're going to continue to work through questions. We have one from Malmy Game. Question for Magnus: will we see more from the Maskinson Twitch in the future? We know you have your own Twitch channel, right? And you stream from some of the Offer Spill Club. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have to say that your pronunciation is abysmal, but apart
I knew
from
you were going to call me out for that. I'm sorry. I'm also reading in real time. Go ahead.
yeah, I think Maskinissen will be back. That's for sure for different different events. So Maskinissen has never been retired. He's just been resting, and he may be coming back in the near future, or at least in the medium future.
Maskinissen. How did I do?
Maskinissen, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
doing my best. All right. Well, there you have it. And I'm gonna kind of quickly jump to the next one from Anita Drink, which wants to know what your plans are as a streamer commentator. And obviously, you just said maybe a return of that Twitch channel. I know you have different feelings about streaming while playing. Tell the fans how you feel about that. When you enjoy it and when you don't, and what are your thoughts on streaming while playing and or doing other stuff?
Well, I haven't done it too much, but I generally find it interesting, and I think sometimes if your brain is not working so well, it can be useful because you sort of articulate your thoughts a little bit, and I have found it at times useful. but I think it takes a little bit of time getting used to, for sure. As for commentating, yeah, I like I like doing that. I mean, that's something that I occasionally enjoy a lot.
Got it. Cool. All right. Next question from TJ Heasy wants to know, I'm going to kind of summarize it, whether there's anyone you've yet to have a good blitz session against on Chess.com that you'd like to. So kind of summarizing, we know you've thrown down against many, but is there someone out there that you would love to throw down in an epic, bender of a blitz session? Throw it down right here. Throw the gauntlet down. Challenge them.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that I haven't played. I mean, Alireza is probably the best player that I haven't faced in a. Well, actually, I don't think I've played him in a
online chess again.
Single in the game, in a single game, but also I think it makes sense that if you're going to play, the very, very best, the very toughest opponent at the most exciting time controls, then that's maybe not something you do casually. Maybe that's something you do in a sort of a more serious match.
Yeah.
But
are you previewing something maybe against guys like Hikaru or Alireza? Maybe.
No, we'll see. But I can say, like, in general terms, I mean, something I'm definitely interested in. Like, I love playing blitz and playing against some of the, well, I mean, the very best in serious matches. I mean, there's nothing more exciting than that.
Yep. I'll say that while we said this is a show of many announcements, there will be more announcements to come, and tease that, of course, we're working on all we can to maybe have some fun things like that. That's all I'll say. But all right, sticking on the comment of Alireza, and we want him to play more online chess if he's watching. I'm gonna go to a question that you get a lot, but we're gonna ask it because I think the fans just love hearing your thoughts on it. MOE_GE Mo-G wants to know, who do you feel is the strongest from these young chess guys? Maybe your opinion changes from time to time. So I know I'm giving you a question you've had. Forgive me for that. But your thoughts on, you just threw down against Gukesh, right? You've seen what Nihal Sarin's been doing, Alireza Firouzja. Your quick hit list on some of these young guys coming up who you have circled.
Well, obviously, Alireza is head and shoulders above everybody else when it comes to basically every format. But yeah, among the others, I wouldn't say there's. If you're talking as an all rounder, I don't think there's anybody who really stands out. Like, all of them have very distinct strengths and weaknesses, which is to be expected from people at that stage in their career. People like Alireza, who is so well rounded in all formats, and he's basically just one of the top guys. I mean, it's rare to be that as a teenager. So for the others, yeah, a lot of them are very promising. But as I said, I wouldn't say that, like, as an all-rounder, any of them really stick out.
Okay, makes sense. All right, a fun one here to maybe round it off. Will we see a Dr. Drunkenstein bot? You've got your main username, and we know that the people who love to play Magnus bots will probably get action on those on Chess.com. But do you? I don't even know what the question is. Dr. Drunkenstein, that's the bot, the name on the Lee Chess account you've used. But any thoughts about Dr. Drunkenstein making a Chess.com appearance?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Like, one of my friends, Asios, he made a bot, which that the report chart was partly based on hyperbullet games. So then you could see a lot of, like, the Lafongs and Queen C2 takes H7 and so on. Yeah. So it would be fun to build a bot based on my drunken bullet games, but I shouldn't say drunken though, because I was never drunk. I was at most like a couple of drinks in any of those
enjoying
games.
yourself.
But, yeah, it would be fun.
Yep. All right. Well, there you have it. Maybe we need to get a bot, not just of Magnus at different ages. I said before you joined, I joked with Andreas that my son was super pumped about, he actually loved that he could beat a bot, Magnus Carlsen, even though he couldn't get past 5. So maybe we need a Dr. Drunkenstein bot with more personalities. So,
yeah, but
right,
that bot is going to be strong though. I have to say
it's going to be super strong. That's crazy. In fact, maybe we make a hybrid Hikaru bot too, and then fans can just watch Magnus versus Hikaru bots all day and keep them satisfied 24/7. So, all right. I got one more question because I know that some of the other biggest names in the game have signed with teams, and we are bringing back the Pro Chess League. Has anybody approached you? I know you haven't signed or committed yet. Your thoughts on whether you are wanting to compete this year, and has anybody tried to recruit you yet?
Yeah, I've been contacted by a couple of teams, so I actually agreed to be on the list for a team like a couple hours ago actually. So that's just pretty good.
You want to break
timing.
the news and can you break
No,
the
I'll
news
let
and tell
them.
us?
I'll let them
Okay.
break the news.
I don't know this, so I'm super excited.
So
okay,
I'm not promising that I'll even play this season, but it's very much possible.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Magnus Carlsen is committed to a Pro Chess League team. I know. I mean, you did enjoy that event, right? Obviously, we've all been torn up inside over the last couple of years that we haven't been able to do as many things together. But now the future is one. And just to speak of the PCL, whether you play or not, you enjoy that league, right? And maybe give your thoughts on that type of idea, like global team chess, right? An online kind of Olympiad feel with free agents. Your thoughts on the PCL and what about that event that you like?
Yeah, I enjoyed the first season that we played a lot with the Norwegian team. Obviously, there have been revelations about that team after the fact that I will not.
We were going to avoid all the controversial topics we've been through for the last 6 months, but you did it. You're right. We've been through some stuff over the last few months together. You're right.
That's okay, but no, I enjoyed the format a lot. I remember. I mean, speaking of Drunkenstein, like. That was one of the original sessions. Like there was one of these rounds where you played 8 games against one division or something. And I did play that from a bar once, having a few drinks. So that was a lot of fun. And I think I scored 7.5 that time. So yeah, it's a great event. Find some camaraderie in the team, and yeah, I guess now there's an in-person final as well. At least I hope so. That's what
we're trying for with many of our events in the future. But yeah, so we did it in 2018 and 2019, and I definitely think that the PCL is kind of built for that type of live kind of esports thing. So
yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're going to let you go. Thank you to the community for questions, Magnus. Thank you so much for your time, man. Obviously, it's a big day. It feels a little bit like throwing the ring into Mordor. Like it's done. It's been a very long journey, but for everybody, this means the world to have you, and we're pumped about the future. So, thanks for being with us and for everything you do for the game.
No, thank you so much, and I'm definitely excited for all the possibilities we have for the future. It's going to be a great age for chess, I believe.
Love it. Appreciate you, man, and let you get going. All right. Well, that was Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, and I agree with what he said. This is it's a great day for the future of chess, and there's a lot of opportunities ahead. And I feel like I'm speaking for myself, for him, for a lot of people that have been putting a ton into this. That it feels a little bit like a oh man, and again, everyone's like, oh, well, I thought this happened months ago. It didn't, and there's been a lot going on with it. And just to get here and to have the opportunity for all of us to really start making plans about how to improve everything together and to unify things and to create more opportunities. It means a lot, and there's plenty more to talk about coming up on those topics. Around the corner, I'm going to be joined by the head of Chessable. You know him as Garrett on social media. He's a bit sassy. Be joined by our VP of content, that's Sam Copeland. Haven't had him on one of these before. So much more to talk about with Chessable, Chess.com, as well as things right after that. So don't go anywhere. The Q4 end of year State of Chess.com returns in a few.
Three, two, one.
We are back here rolling on with the state of chess.com to bring this amazing year for chess to a close. It has been a year. And that definitely was an interview with Magnus Carlsen. He broke news, right? He's committed to a PCL team. I have no idea what team it is. Can't wait to find out. Talked about his opinions about the future of online chess and thinks that more games being played online is a sign of things to come. So anyway, obviously lots to unpack there. I'm sure we'll be sharing it. But we have more to unpack. You saw, of course, the teaser at the break. We're going to be diving into what it means for Chessable and Chess.com to be working together. This is going to be a fun one. I'm super excited to talk about some announcements. We're going to bring you some discounts on the Chessable library, some flash sales happening because of this merger. There will be perks for the Chess.com premium users in the future. Of course, there's going to be Chess.com integration, which means, recommended and catered courses. I feel like Eric and I, maybe we were a little nervous to start the show. We didn't want to overspeak or overpromise, so we didn't talk a lot about the product stuff. But we've been putting a ton of thought into that, of course. That's a big part of why we want to do this, is to help everyone get the access they need for whatever their level of knowledge and motivation is to improve at chess. And of course, you're going to see more courses made by your favorite chess authors and now your favorite chess streamers, right? Two worlds become one. And on that note, let's bring two guys together for one interview. We are joined by Garrett. He's the head of Chessable. And you know him from a lot of things. He's on social media and leading the way for the Chessable team. And then we have Sam Copeland, our VP of content, who helps guide so many things. These two guys are the perfect two to bring together to break this down. Garrett, I want to start with you. I know you have a long list, so I have to tell you, just pick one thing. Like Eric, what are you most excited about for your community, the Chessable community, in welcoming the Chess.com users in this coming year?
Can we already start breaking Chess.com streamers doing courses?
Well, it will happen. We've been teasing it. Just don't say which ones yet. But okay, so that's what you're most excited about, is the streamers and bringing their fan base to Chessable.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things, right? There's a few, teachers of the internet that can do amazing stuff for our community. And I think actually they can do something amazing for the chess.com community, which is share their knowledge. And that's why we built the platform. And I'm just really excited about those guys and gals coming over to Chessable and to start teaching on our platform.
Yeah, I love. I'm gonna keep the fans waiting for a little bit longer because I want to ask Sam the similar high level question first. Sam, you're a guy. You're a chess master yourself. You're a chess educator. You do your own content. Your content for Chess.com. But you're a Chessable fan, right? You've been a fan of Chessable and what they've been doing for a long time. So, as a guy who's been helping guide the ship for Chess.com, what are you most pumped about as far as connecting with and integrating with the products and the courses that Chess.com that Chessable has offered?
I am so excited about this in so many ways. Garrett and I got to connect a little bit this week, and one thing he shared with me is that I'm one of the first 1,000 members on Chessable. So I've been around for a long time on the platform and have been enjoying and using it. And I'm a huge fan of the authors and courses that are available. And working on the content side on Chess.com, I'm super proud of the different types of content that we do. I was just looking up right before this how many people have taken our course on learning to play chess. And it's 7 million and just over 200,000. So many people have come in and taken that course, appreciate that content. And we have that course even in, I think, about 10 languages now. And there's a lot of other content that we provide. We just launched a big course with 50 introductory opening lessons on basically every opening there is, so you can get a quick introduction. But we've never really been able to serve the improving community that really wants to take their game to the next level, the way that Garrett and the team at Chessable have. And I'm so excited that we can kind of bring this together, and we really have a great home that complements all of the introductory content that we have for learners and the other kinds of broad and really fun content that we do that'll really let people take their game to the next level. I think it's a perfect complement.
Couldn't agree more. You and I have been talking about this for a long time. We'll have to save that because it would go till we're blue in the face. But Let's bring up our talking points again about what we're going to be doing. You know, we're going to have discounts, right? We're going to be doing some flash sales, but Garrett, you know, everything Sam just said in talking about the Chess.com lesson library and how awesome it's been to reach such a large community. He mentioned some huge numbers, but one of the things that has failed is we haven't had the model that gives back directly to the author and to the creator. And you know, we've had a different type of thing, the all-inclusive diamond membership, and now it's going to be something that is not just awesome for chess improvers, but directly supports the people in the chess community that they love, the best coaches, the best creators that they like. So even though we're going to talk about discounts and sales, what can you tell us about what Chessable does for professionals in the community? Can you give us some secret financial numbers? Like how much money has Chessable paid out to creators here over the last few years? Can I put you on the spot? Is that legal? HR's yelling at me. Just tell everybody how much money that creators have made.
I think we can give a rough number here. Chessable has paid out over $7 million to creators since we started. We're really proud of that. That's something that we made part of our mission very early on. We want authors and creators on Chessable to make money. And one of the problems I think that existed in the chess world is that if you weren't a professional player, you had to go teach. And if teaching wasn't a thing, then maybe you could publish a book or something. But you know, chess books didn't really bring in a lot of money for anybody. And on Chessable, that's different. We have a really great community of people who are interested in improving and who are interested in buying courses. And we've made a library with the help of our authors that now serves, you know, well over 700,000 enthusiasts. And hopefully with the help of Chess.com, we can grow that tremendously. As Sam already mentioned, you know, you guys have a huge community of learners. Chessable serves the improvers. And I think now that our two companies are going to merge into one big family, our communities can come together and we can bridge that gap with our product offering. And that's really exciting because that's going to help so many more authors and creators in the chess space find new audiences and earn a living, because that's one of our biggest goals as Chessable, is to help more professionals like stay in the game, and that way we can help grow the game.
I love that, and I if you didn't see me put you on the spot there, I apologize, but I didn't know that number, over 7 million, and I know of some of the the highest earning, and I can tell the world they aren't necessarily the biggest names in chess, which I want to speak to the Chess.com community and let Sam take it, because we have so many amazing top bloggers, right? We have so many people who are creating content, Sam, for the community that is super valuable and awesome, but we're doing it on Chess.com only because that's where a lot of the users were, and everyone who creates wants it to be appreciated, right? By those who love, the topic that we're sharing together. And so now I think it's not just the big names, and it's not just the Anish Giri courses, and I'm going to troll Anish Giri as much as I can, right? It's every creator who may not be one of the most famous, recognizable faces in the community. So, Sam, before we talk about some of the most famous, recognizable communities, and I promise we'll say next, what are your thoughts on that? All the creators we have on Chess.com, your bloggers, your video courses, all those things, getting a chance to contribute to Chessable.
It's just so exciting. Just from a personal perspective, as someone who obviously with people here has been making a living in chess for a long time, first through private lessons and such. When I got into that and started writing on Chess.com, I joined the blogging community. The blogging community was my in to working for Chess.com.
By the way, that's how we hired
just
Sam.
Creating content. Yep.
Sorry, Sam. That we hired Sam because Sam was one of our best bloggers in the community, and I reached out to him and was like, "Hey, man, do you want to join us for this Chess Kit event?" And then it blew. Have we ever told that story? Sorry, I get excited. It's been a lot of years. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember I was staying with Sean McCoy, our head of support at the World Open, and I was, I don't know about you guys, when I'm playing a tournament, my mind just wanders because you're at the board for 6 hours. It's hard to focus. I was thinking, how could people cheat? And I talked to Sean afterwards. I was like, I'm going to write a blog on how to cheat at chess.com or how to cheat at chess, and that'll take off. And that was my biggest blog.
That's not a topic people care about. That's not a topic people care
about. Cleared
Go ahead.
100,000 reads, so I really tipped a lot of people off, and it fed that straight into a job. So I think that was a great strategy, teaching people how to cheat at chess. Anyway, it's been incredible, coming through that space and being able to get into chess and making a living through this. But that was really, really a rare opportunity. And now what Chessable does is it offers to the people who love creating content, all the bloggers that we have on Chess.com, that opportunity. That's not just something like where I got really lucky at an early stage when there wasn't a big ecosystem to get involved in. Now this is something for all of the coaches that we have on Chess.com, all of the bloggers, the people who've created articles and write news and just love creating content. They can now get in there and just do whatever they want. And I think that Garrett and I will be so excited to see the directions that people want to take it. Courses that, are super innovative. We've seen so much creativity in the community of creators at chess.com on YouTube and other places. And I think that bringing that over to Chessable will be really exciting. And in terms of names, I think you've been talking to a number of different people who are creators that have been working with chess.com for a while that are really interested in creating courses on Chessable. Levi Rosman, Danya Naroditsky, Botez Sisters, Chess Bras, James Canty, and so many more people, a lot of people reaching out to us. And they're just very excited about getting involved with Chessable, creating courses, and taking ideas that in a lot of cases they've had for a long time for, this is something that I'd really like to get out there. This, I think, would be a great book, great course, and now this is an opportunity for them to bring that over to Chessable.
You stole my thunder a little bit, because you're good at what you do. You just threw right into it. I was gonna tease it up by asking Garrett to pick if there was one person in the world that he personally wanted to make a Chessable course, who would it be? But now I know the answer. It's the guy right in the middle of that image. And by the way, I wouldn't be showing them on this image if they hadn't agreed. This we don't use their likeness unless they agree. So it is my job, and I have had a lot of conversations. So Garrett, you take it away. How pumped are you to see these commitments? This isn't just like a tease. These are commitments to make courses in the year of 2023 by these authors, as well as the ones Sam mentioned, Chess Bras, James Canty, and so many more. Garrett, make sure you don't fall out of your chair when you show your excitement for this.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited, but I know also we've been getting so many requests from the Chessable community, right? And I think once the Chess.com community and family figures out that Chessable exists and that we have this platform where you can learn and dive more deeper into chess, they're going to want to see courses by Levi Rosman and the Botez sisters, but also by you, Danny. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm especially excited about, the number one YouTube phenomenon, Levi Rosman, coming to Chessable, because he's clearly the most requested author on Chessable, and we've had to wait a long time to get him to confirm a course. But now that that's happening in 2023, I can't wait for that to come out, because he's an absolutely fantastic communicator. Yeah, he speaks to people that love chess, but also in a way that I think makes people more excited to actually learn about chess. And so I can't wait to see what he can bring on Chessable as part of like an offering that we have there with him creating a course. So that's really exciting. But one of the things I wanted to highlight is that right now we're talking about streamers. We're talking about titled players like, Levi Rosman is an international master of chess. Danny, you're an international master of chess. I think, Sam, you're also a titled player. So I want to highlight that Chessable isn't a place that is just for those people. You don't have to be a super strong player to create a successful Chessable course. You can be a club player with a really good idea for content. And if you put together something that is educational, that is well thought out, and etc., it has a real chance of success in our marketplace. And one of those great examples is we have this course called the Checkmate Patterns Manual, which was created by a Belgian club player named Raf Misselton. On Chessable, his username is Crafty Raf. He created this course, which is like one of the best, most comprehensive courses on all the checkmate patterns that exist. And it was a fan favorite on our site, like really early on. Then we asked international John Bartholomew, the co-founder of Chessable, to do the video presentation for it. And then it became a best-selling course. And so what's amazing to me about that story is that Raf decided, I need this for me, and I can and since I need this for me, I'm going to create this for the community. I'm going to publish it in the marketplace, And people picked that up and bought it and then supported it. And then as soon as John came and like filmed the videos for it, that course became even more of a success. And Raf makes, you know, a good living off of that course. And that's amazing, because I can't, you know, really think of any examples in the chess world where people create educational content and become teachers for others while making a living off that kind of thing. And so if there's more of you chess enthusiasts out there, you know, and you think you have an original idea, then Chessable welcomes that. And that's, I think, slightly different from, let's say, like the traditional chess publishing business, where it's mostly grandmasters or maybe international masters publishing and teaching. And here, I think it's this lovely combination of super high level, top level players. We have courses by Magnus Carlsen and Anish Giri, but we also have these types of unique courses by club players who just really thought about like what they would like to learn themselves, and then they create that.
I love that so much. I mean, honestly, it's the reason we did this, honestly, and I think it's probably the biggest value. And of course, Magnus playing in events and the future of us having the best players under one roof, and there's so many other things, but this opportunity for all the motivated learners in the chess world is simply phenomenal. So thank you for touching on that. We have a bunch of community questions, so I'm going to throw to you, Sam. This isn't a normal State of Chess where we have a full segment dedicated to not just product, but every product we released every month. We kind of put together a quick board of some of the highlights and things that have been released over the last few months. So Sam, I'm going to let you quickly run through our year in review, you know, releasing the app, the clock app. Maybe just quickly run through this so we can get to more community questions. And what do you feel like we want to highlight for the Chess.com users in our quick product segment here?
Yeah, there's just so much that has just come out or is very soon to come out that's really exciting. A lot of people will have received the year in review email. Our most common question on social media right now is, when am I getting mine? So I think in the next 2 to 3 days, anyone who hasn't yet received it, you should get it. I'm also waiting, so I think we're in the same camp as everyone else. But the year in review email has made a bunch of progress this year. I think we had fun with it last year, but the design team crushed it this year. It's a huge data crunch to pull all that data for so many millions of users, but it's going out. It's really fun. I see people sharing it already, and you should get yours very soon.
I got mine yesterday. It was fun to see.
Awesome.
You're the first one here on this call. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've got a new Chess Clock app as well. It's already on Android. Go refresh that if you haven't checked it out, or download the Chess Clock app if you don't have it. New color themes, totally new UI, a lot of settings, really fun. I'm running it and just absolutely loving it. Everything I've wanted in a Chess Clock app. It's going to be on iOS very soon. We've released
I have
an
it on
update
iOS
to Game Review on mobile.
betas.
There you go.
Keep going.
I think you were using it in LA with chess boxing as well, right?
Yep, that's right. It's going to be fun. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
So we've released Game Review on our mobile apps. Got a bunch of things that are coming to Game Review. I'll mention some of the stuff at the end as well right here. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be playing on mobile. I'd play a good game, and then I'd go load the game on web to see if I got a brilliant move with the most up-to-date algorithm. So now you don't have to do that. It's the same algorithm on mobile as it is on web. And there are a bunch of updates coming to Game Review that we're calling Game Review V2. Some of them are already available, including just improved uses of like arrows and squares to illustrate concepts the coach is talking about, and just a lot more dialogue, new classifications for what do we consider a blunder, what do we consider maybe a missed opportunity. A lot of this stuff is already in beta. So if you're interested in contributing on Game Review, go to the beta club, sign up, give us feedback. We'd love to have it. And I think early January, we're going to be really fully out with Game Review V2. So that's something to play around with and look forward to right there. And then we've released, I think I mentioned a moment ago, 50 opening lessons. Every single opening basically now has a mini course that's available that you can check out in our Chess.com lessons product. And very, very soon, I think we've already teased this a few times, we have How I Became a 5-Time World Champion, a course with Vishy Anand coming out that's going to be like 5 hours of content with Danny, you and Vishy diving deep on his career
One of the
with
coolest
all
moments
kinds
of
of
my life,
insights.
honestly. Yeah, that was awesome. One of the coolest moments of my life, being able to sit there with someone who I'm born and raised a childhood fan of, to go over his career. And wow, you're not going to want to miss that content. Sorry, Sam, you cued me, so I said it. And then I'll just finish and say there's also updates coming to Classroom and Library too. For those who don't know, they should be checking those things out. Sam, I only want to keep rolling now, and I'm going to jump into the community Q&A because we've got some great
100%.
ones, and I want to focus on some of them that are coming to Garrett from the Chessable side. Fans here just getting to know, or for the first time having a direct line to you, Garrett. So we'll try to keep these answers short so we can get to many of them. I already know the answer to this. I'm going to let you tease it. Ben's bro wants to know, will Fabiano do a course?
Yeah, he's already confirmed and working on one.
Great. I was hoping you could say it because I knew he already told me yes. Next one, Jokey Senator wants to know, who makes the epic art covers at Chessable? He's a fan.
Yeah, that's Adam. Adam Ledford, and he's all over Twitter. So just go look him up there. He's got a ton of artwork up there. He does all of our illustrations and artwork covers for the Lifetime Repertoire series. And I think that's what is being referred to, because we have this kind of like superhero artwork for the Lifetime Repertoires and some of the other courses. And it's very recognizable. It's very much Adam's style. He actually got his break creating some artwork for some really big YouTube streamers, and then we asked him to start working with us and create covers. But we have a team of designers, a couple of other people who also do really amazing artwork, and I got to send a shout out to our art director Juan Capitoni, because he also does amazing illustrations and has produced so many really fun covers that are really just brings a lot of like joy and kind of fun to chess, because a lot of chess covers are so serious, and we wanted to bring a little bit more lightheartedness into that feeling of like studying, so that because it's about joy. Like we play chess for fun, we study chess for fun. Of course, everybody wants to win, but in the end, like it's just so much fun to learn more about the game, and so we tried to reflect that in our artwork.
I love it. I'm going to answer some of these quickly so the community knows we got them. M. Zungu94 wants to know, will there be a feature to load personal games from Chess.com into Chessable for comparative practice? Yes. Will it be available in a month? No. But yes, that feature is coming, and it's one of the coolest things that we're excited to do, is those direct connect for all the users on Chess.com to get their games instantly uploaded and all the get access to all the Chessable features. Jurin the House wants to know, will Chess.com partners be able to stream Chessable? Yes, as of yesterday, any Chess.com streamer could, and is probably already planning on streaming, whether it's their own Chessable course or maybe again Anish Giri's course. If they happen to have forgotten to delete it, they might stream Anish's course. I don't know, but yes, streamers can do that. Let's see. Tritlo wants to know, will Chessable content be fully integrated into Chess.com app? Right now, the plans are for them to remain separate, partly because they should be separate. Chessable is its own community, its own very powerful brand, and very focused on what it's doing for those improvers out there, super motivated to take their game to the next level. And Chess.com's UI, if you haven't already noticed, Eric and I have said this a lot, the crisis we've always had is we're chess for everyone. There's a lot going on Chess.com, so why squeeze more into it? Why not keep it separate and let it be very clear for users how to find it? Last one I'll ask to Sam, because he's in charge of my content schedule. Menil wants to know, when will Danny make a Chessable course? Sam, when am I doing that?
It's already in the works. It's already in the works.
I've got to take a look at that 2023 calendar. I think there were some discussions already, and maybe we can bring forward some of your best blunders, something like that.
Best blunders, that's what we need, or dubious openings. So whatever the people are into. All right,
how not to get an advantage with the Verisov.
How not to get an advantage? God, now is this just roast Danny show? What else you got, Sam? I mean, geez.
I'm not. I've only got 2 roasts.
How to get your queen trapped on H1. Okay. Garrett, so awesome to have you, man. What a pleasure. And we're super excited about this. Sam, thank you so much for bringing the heat and bringing the roast. If you've got more later, and we'll be diving into so much more. And this was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Get us to a break before we get to our final segment. So thank you for being here, and Chessable and Chess.com for the win. Let's go. All right. That was Garrett and Sam, and those two guys are going to be spending a lot of time together, and I think it's going to mean a lot of good things for the chess community, and not just the years, but just in the immediate months to come. What is going to happen hooking up Chessable with Chess.com for those who are super motivated to get better? It's going to be mind-blowing. So, all right. Next, we're going to be joined by a guest to talk about things happening for the community. Speaking of mind-blowing, as you know, we reached 100 million members. What are we going to do about it? It's going to be awesome. And who is joining our company as our new head of community? You may know him, and he'll be starting January 1. He's going to join us to talk about what that means and a lot of the things that we have around the corner. So don't go anywhere. It's the second to last segment before the AMA for our quarter 4 end of year State of Chess.com. We are back. The State of Chess.com continues. If you're just getting here, which some of you are because we're at peak viewership, you missed so much. We've had interviews with Magnus Carlsen, breaking news, and a ton more that we've jumped into. If those announcements aren't big enough for you, then I guess the announcement is that our intern is no longer in charge of announcing big announcements, because we feel like they were pretty big, and there's been a lot of topics we've gotten into. There's still more to come. All right. Well, on that note, we had a big thing happen this last week, which wasn't an announcement. We thought it was going to be the major headline of this show. There's been a lot else too, but we crossed 100 million members registered. That's crazy. That's a lot, and it was a big thing that happened for us. And it happened in live fashion. It was a pretty emotional thing, and represents the hard work by so many here at the company, but also that the chess world is popular and growing, and all of you here are a part of that story. Speaking of that story, Eric and I sat down and told the story of Chess.com, the rated PG, too long didn't read version, but it was still long. It was still about an hour, and the full video is on YouTube. But we wanted to share a little bit of that conversation with a few highlights in this video about the history of Chess.com.
I remember the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, we have a grandmaster on our site. He's like kicking everyone's ass. He's just winning all of his games. What super strong grandmaster is this?
It was not a secret.
It was not twist ending. It was somebody cheating. And we're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to deal with this? It's hard to explain the whole process, but immediately right then, we're like, this is going to be make or break for our future. We have to invest here. And immediately started hiring like statistician, built an amazing team around this, and we've invested so much time and money and resources just to protect this game that we love.
At this time, I'm a couple years behind Eric, so I'm not thinking about the MySpace. I was already thinking of Facebook, so I also went and bought ChessFace.com and ChessFace Live. These are just dumb. I can't believe I bought ChessFace.com. Okay, can we just cut that from this video? That I thought at one point that was a domain name worth owning.
When all the other chess companies out there at the time, and there were more than there are now, back then, they all had logos of, kings, or they had knights or whatever. And we were like, we're doing the pawn. And the reason we're doing the pawn is because we're doing chess for everyone.
It was a lot of fun. We got into a lot of things in that video. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's at our YouTube channel. I won't tease all the other things Eric and I talked about because it was too many, but so many stories that went in, including the purchase of, really in hindsight, cringy and dumbass. Can I say dumbass? It's a PG-13 show. Domain names that I bought in the early days. So, all right. Well, the community is no longer what it was then. It's 100 million members, and we have a new person joining the company who's going to be our head of community. Going to be facing some different problems than we did when we were asking questions like, how do we go from 100 users to 10,000? More like, how do you manage a nation of 100 million people? But with us now is International Master Casa Corley, who will be joining Chess.com on January 1st as our new head of community. Casa, super excited to have you, and how pumped are you about stepping into these shoes?
Thanks, Danny. It's a really exciting time in the chess world, right? I mean, we have just a really great opportunity here to really grow the game and ultimately kind of transform the vision for chess fans all around the world. So I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. I'm excited about meeting people where they're at. I think there's so many different types of chess fans. There have been so many new entrants into this this arena in a very short period of time, and we're just looking to keeping that going in a really incredible way. So I'm really excited about it.
Are you overwhelmed by it? I mean, I said it's a different kind of role than stepping into something that that is it's we're still young, scrappy, hungry, but there's a lot going on, right? What do you feel like you have on your list as far as stepping in as someone who's going to continue to work with all the amazing things we already have going, and what are some things you'd like to kind of highlight about that?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that there are really awesome community activations that ultimately we have the potential to really meet people where they're at. One of them I actually want to highlight is something we're going that people should be aware of, which is our classroom feature, and we're actually going to kind of amplify that and give that a little bit more love, because I think a lot of people don't know enough about it yet. And we're going to have a monthly kind of rollout. We're going to call it Casa's Classroom, where we essentially have really teachable content, where we engage the community, where we, we really get things going in a way that's really exciting for people. Then there are other mediums as well besides the. There are other mediums where we can engage with people. We do have a very growing Discord channel that has really has a lot of potential, and we can actually set up these like fireside chat kind of thematics that we really hope will just bring a lot of people into the tent, essentially. And if you don't know already, you can actually link your Chess.com account to Discord, which I don't think many people are aware of, but it's kind of an exciting thing. So you're aware of the things that are actually happening. I learned it recently.
Okay. I've got my Twitch account link, but I didn't know we could link the Discord, so shame on me. Okay, awesome. Well, let me ask you a hard-hitting one then, because you mentioned, okay, exciting time for chess. We're going to be doing all kinds of things, and yeah, I think you said it well, meeting different chess fans at the level they're at, and it's not just the level they're at, but the level of engagement they're at, right? Because there's different types of chess fans, those who watch shows, those who want to casually watch games only, those who only want to play, right? And I think I love how you said that, because that is our goal, is to give people an experience that's joyful for them. But what's not joyful is cheating. And I'm going to jump to like a topic that, you and I have conversed a lot about. We mentioned it in this video. We talked about the first time someone cheated on Chess.com. Part of your role is not going to be to oversee cheat detection. There's a lot going on there, but to help manage, how we approach this new world where cheating has always been taken seriously, but I think the optics and the perception and frankly, the microscope is bigger than ever, as it should be, because there's more at stake. There's more money on the line, right? And there's more professionals who really care about that. So two questions. I know that was a long-winded way to ask a question, but one, do you remember the first time you were cheated against, if there's a funny story there? And two, what do you see as your role as the head of community, as a title player, to kind of shepherd Chess.com's future vision of dealing with cheating and dealing with how we navigate professionals and amateurs alike when it comes to educating them about not doing bad things?
Yeah, many things to say there. I think the first thing I'll say is I actually have not ever really caught someone red-handed or anything like that. So it's really I've tended to really see and believe the best in people, and maybe that's
why we hired you. That's my head of community right there. Go ahead.
It's been an interesting journey, to say the least. As a player myself, quite an active player, I do completely empathize with basically every tranche of player that engages with this in some way. And I think, as everyone really knows, now that online chess is really taking center stage in many ways. We heard even Magnus speak about the entertainment value, the joy of the game, even the numbers with what we saw with Magnus and Hikaru over the weekend. We're in an environment now where the stakes are just really high, and because the stakes are high, there's a responsibility there on everyone to be better. And so I think having sort of the player's perspective in mind, I'll be able to kind of empathize, liaison, work with players through some of these issues as they come up. And also in certain situations, we have to think about responsibly handling situations where there might be an issue, right? Like at the end of the day, not all issues, not all cases are the same. There are factors that we may need to lean into in certain cases over others, and adjudicating these situations is really a delicate balance. And so I'm not the sole actor here, but of course, leveraging all of the stakeholders and coming to decisions that we feel really good about based upon the perspectives in the room is going to be important.
I love that. I mean, answers like that, you can be the only stakeholder as far as I'm concerned. I'm willing to retire when it comes to this department and get out of the limelight of any cheating scandals. Not sure if you've heard about anything going on this year. We won't get into. So anyway, I very, very well said, and I agree. Right? I mean, navigating different stakeholders, different situations, and also making sure that at the core of what we're saying to fans, which is this chess event matters. And it matters not just because of what's at stake and the best players are playing, but because the games are being played cleanly and fairly, and the players understand that and the fans know that. I think is important for the buy-in, because it can be entertaining, but if at the core we don't have control over that situation, it could get away from us, right? And so I think that speaking for someone who is in your shoes and now you're taking those shoes, I think that you said it really well, and I can't wait to see how those things go. So. Casa, I want to pivot now to talking about one of the most exciting things you're stepping into, which you talked about Casa's classroom. We've now touched on the cheating thing, but the first big event that the community is going to be leading to start the year is going to be our celebration of the 100 million member milestone, right? And I've got the board up here, and I'll ask you to kind of sound off on what you're most excited about. We know the history. We launched in May of 2007. On December 16th, we hit it. So what are we doing about it, Casa? Take it away, right? We're doing 100 hours of live streamers, and all kinds of special events and merch. What are you most pumped about that we're going to be doing come February for this event?
I'm just really looking forward to the celebration. I think, there's so many people that have been a part of this journey. And I think over the course of the 100 hours, you're going to get a real taste of a lot of the people that have been a part of this journey. And again, it's not the end of the journey, it's just the beginning, but really just to appreciate this path, to essentially showcase a lot of, the people that have been a part of this journey and that fans enjoy and so on, I think is really what I'm looking forward to. And hopefully staying awake for most of it. I don't know. That's going to be a challenge as well.
We'll be watching some. We'll be a part of some. I love what you said. Everyone who's been a part of this journey. I mean, we're going to be bringing on people who probably don't even know they're invited yet, right? David Pruitt, original co-director of content, and some of the early shows we did. We're gonna anyone who's done things. I want to say like the Chess Bras, and all of our streamers, and so many of the people who were not just a part of maybe creating content who the community might recognize, but also in the background. So it's going to be a 100-hour straight stream of uptime. That is our celebration for 100 million members. And yes, there will be merch giveaways. I will also be bringing back some OG formats and shows that I've wanted to do for a long time. Not just bullet brawls, but some other stuff. So for fans who might remember that, I'm gonna have a blast stepping in on that as well. Casa, what are we having you do during that? Because if I'm doing bullet brawls and doing some kind of, you got to step in too and do some stuff. So we got to have you take some of the hours of that 100 hours down.
Yeah, there's going to be some classroom components going on as well. So you can stay tuned for that. There are definitely going to be some rewards and so on. I'm also keen on getting some fireside chat dynamic going at some point as well. Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, so stay tuned.
He doesn't know he'll be hosting the whole thing. Okay, chat trolling me. That's not true, Trim. That's not what we agreed. Okay. All right, Casa. Well, on that note, great cue up from Trim, because we've got some other questions from the community. Get that out of here. Casa's hosting the whole thing. But all right. Casa, we're going to tee you up with some questions. We've got one from Capybara Queen BR, wants to know, how do you think that the values can be developed in communities? And I'm going to kind of say maybe the values you were talking about. And what is your thought on establishing and developing values within a community?
Yeah, I mean, So I think it's important to wrap it up within the context of Chess.com, because I think there are plenty of online communities across the internet, and we can talk about those. But let's talk about Chess.com specifically. And I think, Chess.com, besides having so many users, right? We've just crossed 100 million. It's a really big deal. There's so many different touch points where we can meet you where you are, where maybe we're not always doing that yet, right? And so we have amazing events that people love to tune into, and we have great articles and blogs and things that people can read and so on. I think there's a dynamic of kind of live and real-time components away from events where we can engage with you, whether it's because you're interested in improving your chess, and there's forums questions where there are places where your questions can be surfaced. Whether there are, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I really am keen on this fireside chat dynamic that I think we can get, whether it's in Discord, whether it's in the Classroom dynamic. I think a community that's at its best is going to have any level of player really well engaged. And I think even through the course of this show, and we had Chessable folks on earlier that are now really Chess.com folks. You see that there are a lot of title players in the ecosystem, and of course they get a lot of shine, but there are a whole lot of other chess players as well. And we want you to feel like there's a place you can go to engage when there isn't necessarily a broadcast that you're tuning into. And so we're really working hard to make sure there's many different places where you can engage with people that are where you are. And that's kind of one of the things I'm going to be focused on quite a bit in 2023.
I love that. And I'll even add a little bit of how do we establish, values. As Costa said, it starts with, we can't speak for the values of other communities, but what are Chess.com's values, right? We want be kind, be helpful, and be relevant. Eric and I always say that, right? Because being kind is first and foremost. Think about what you're saying, and being helpful, meaning don't say things that aren't helpful to people or the conversation, like we talk about with chat in real time. And then being relevant, I think, is important too. And again, I'm kind of speaking broadly, but I think we have to establish what are the values we want of our community. So I would even also throw it back at Capybara. If there are values that you bring, Discord and these fireside chat moments that Costa's talking about are your chances to share them. And we want to make sure we continue to do that, because I think a healthy community has values that keep us guided and are sort of our map when it gets dark, right? Our lighthouse when the seas get rough. And I love that question, and we'll continue to work on that together. All right.
And
Noob
may I
Master
add
wants
one
to know,
other-
what does, yeah, go ahead.
May I add one other thing to that as well, Danny?
Please.
So
Go
when
for it.
as someone that's been playing chess actively for over 20 years, essentially, so much of the chess work I've done over the course of my life has been basically toiling, and I've always joked around about it, toiling in silence, or working on my own and so on. And that really doesn't have to be the case anymore, right? Like,
right.
The internet and our chess communities have made it where that really doesn't have to be the case. There are people that are also working on chess, thinking about chess, and just having fun with it. There are places where you can share ideas, and I think now more than ever is the opportunity for that. So you don't have to have this dynamic, frankly, that I grew up with. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I love that.
Evolving.
I love that. And it keeps people there even when times get tough too, because you're sharing it, right? It's easier to go through it when you're not going through it alone. So I love that. All right, let me. There was that last question we just had. I'll quickly answer it so we can move on to the next one. You can actually get an ad-free experience if you link your account on Twitch to Chess.com. So we've got 8,000 plus viewers right now. If you go to Chess.com and link your account, and you're a subscriber on Twitch, you get an ad-free experience. So even if you're not a gold member, let alone platinum or diamond, being a subscriber on Twitch alone gets you an ad-free experience. So that's one thing. There are also future things coming, and we hope to kind of invest further in that integration to give more benefits. But already that's a reason to do it, especially if you're a subscriber to Twitch. So, all right. Carrots and Pizza. Is there a plan to match players with the same opening? We're getting into the Danny AMA section. Let me save that. For later, because that's not a community question necessarily. I want to say, okay, Next one. Brandon Atterbury wants to ask Casa the verified program status. I don't even know if Casa knows that we tried the verified program this year, and we didn't really find the community took to it. But let me ask you a general question on that. What are your thoughts on that, Casa, about creating experiences where some of our users can choose to verify their identity in a way to maybe take part in tournaments or be a part of experiences that are perks, I guess, for kind of like putting a little more of like, hey, this really matters to me. I'm not just an anonymous person kind of potentially acting in ways that I wouldn't be accountable for.
Yeah, so I was vaguely aware of the verified program, but not haven't gone great in depth into it. But I think when we're talking about whether to have verified events or not, and whether there should be anonymity or not, I think it a lot of times depends on the type of events and the size of the communities, the size of the tournaments you're trying to have. I mean, so the short answer is it really depends. I think, in recent times, if I can just briefly, mention the Twitter stuff that's been going on, you can see how there are flaws in verification at times.
We don't talk about Twitter, but no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So I think there's a lot of nuance to it, and it really depends on the size of the communities you're working with and what type of people are operating within those communities. Like if you're in a situation where there's maybe a tournament or an event where there's a relatively discrete number of people, maybe verification has more value because everyone kind of maybe wants to know each other, and right. that can really be something that works. If it's something where there are like thousands of people or more than that, a lot of people really value their anonymity. So I think it depends on sort of the size and the type of thing you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, right? And I could add a lot more to it as well as a guy who was a big believer in creating the verified experience and kind of being told by our community that it wasn't that important to them. We didn't have a lot of people do it. I think it was about 10,000 total, which is great for the 10,000 who wanted to, and that's more than people viewing this show. I'll just share that number. But I think we thought it would be more embraced, and I think that there's something to revisit there maybe down the road, like Casa said. Maybe it should be based on experience or the tournament specifically at the time and not kind of an all-exclusive thing. There's a lot to talk about in regards to this, and without opening the Twitter experience we're seeing too. So we'll kind of leave that where it is. And Casa, I think on that note, I'm probably gonna wrap up our segment and leave you to have your day and enjoy the holidays, because this is there's some I'm gonna stick around and punt on some questions and have fun with the community here a little bit in real time. But I just want to say super pumped to have you. I can't wait to see the work we're gonna do together, the work you're gonna do, and I know I speak for the whole team on that. So any final words before we let you go?
I didn't have something prepared, but I must say I'm very excited for what's to come, and happy holidays.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's all you need sometimes. So all right, man. Happy holidays to you, and we're also excited, and we will see you on many future a day, and certainly for that 100-hour stream that we're excited to be doing. So let you go now, and good luck in your first Casa's Classroom.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
All right. Well, that was our new head of community, Casa Corley. And a lot of people are asking Casa about streaming. So I guess I didn't see that. We didn't get that question up, but we'll let Casa answer that later. Maybe Casa will be streaming. He's going to be doing Casa's Classroom. So maybe tune into the first one. I'll say, knowing Casa for the years I have, he is a natural teacher and a natural communicator. And I think anyone who tunes in for the Casa's Classroom and kind of takes part in a fireside chat and asks questions, you're going to get some awesome responses. And he's a guy who's been coaching and teaching chess players of different levels for a long time, along with pursuing his own career. So as a player, I mean. And anyway, so I think if anyone wants to see more of Casa streaming and they let him know that, you might get your wish. And so go ahead and do it. To get your wish, community, I'm going to stick around now. It's time. Is it finally time? Do I get to like just like let my hair down, or maybe in some cases put my wig on and just be myself and answer direct questions from the community? I'm ready to do it. I'm even going to bring up chat in real time. I know we'll continue to feature chat, but I'm going to bring up chat in real time too, so I can answer there as well. Let's start with. I feel bad for carrots and pizza. First of all, who puts carrots on pizza? Right? I mean, what are you doing there? Carrots and pizza. So let's start with carrots and pizza's question, because I drove by it going 90 miles an hour because I felt like it was a broader question than Fracassa. So let's bring back carrots and pizza's question, which is there a plan to match players with the same openings? So that's a yes and to that question. We already have thematic tournaments that you can play in daily chess, right? And so if you're looking to practice an opening or get more work done there, you can do it. I believe we also have thematic tournaments in play already, meaning in the live events. And if not, that feature is coming. And we would never manipulate the back end of the pairing system to only pair you with someone with the same openings. I think that would be kind of weird and probably would end up having the reverse effect. But that is an interesting feature. If you could set your settings that you want to be paired against people who also want to play that opening, that's an interesting feature. Let's tag that to the first one. I'm going to ask Trim and our awesome moderator community to make a note of to feed to Eric. Now it's an Eric problem. See how I do that? I just sign off and say, Danny thinks a good idea. Give it to Eric. Throw it at Eric. And then Eric is the bad guy, whether we do it or not. I think that's interesting, carrots and pizza. Much more interesting than putting carrots on pizza. Super, super hard pass on that. That's going to be a no for me, dog. Big no for me, dog. All right, BJH13. Oh, my God. I'm going to read my Slack as the team brings questions here. Will we finally get a Danny After Dark, the Chess Dad show that we've all been waiting for? Who still lets this guy control featured chat? BJH. Now, I really enjoy streaming. For those of you out there who are still following the Twitch .tv/Daniel Wrench channel, or in BJH's case, still subscribing month after month and just giving me his $4.99, even though I never stream there. First of all, thank you for that. And anyone who's ever watched my personal streams knows I really do enjoy it. I also love teaching, and I think I'm decent at it. I love the process of just communicating something to someone at their level of understanding. And it's often therapy for me, where I probably say things I shouldn't say as a chief chess officer. But for some reason, when I'm on my own Twitch channel, I feel like I'm allowed to, which isn't really true, but I do it anyway. So Danny After Dark will come. And when it comes, it will be rated R. And when it's rated R, it will get wild. Will it happen before I'm fired from this company? I don't know, BJ, because it may take that for me to really let my hair did. So we'll see. All right. Matt Incognito wants to know, can we get a weekly Chess.com podcast hosted by Danny Wrench? That's a great question. We are very interested in the future of podcasting content. Did I say that in a cringy boomer enough way? Yeah, cringy boomer succeeded, right? Unlock level, cringy boomer. Yeah. I hear that podcasts are what the kids are listening to these days, and so I would like to have a cast as well. Can I put it in a pod? What do you do with your cast? Do you put it in a pod? And then people wrap it up? Okay, we want to do that. I know I don't want to speak for Peter Dawkers, good friend of mine. Love that guy. I know he wants to do a podcast. There's also the C Squared podcast, Fabiano Caruana and Christian Chirilla. Stop what you're doing and look up the C Squared podcast by Fabi and Christian and go give them a subscription, because they're awesome. And I love that podcast. And yes, there will be more Chess.com podcasts in the future. Okay. At Grimmer4, I love the product questions. Is there a plan to allow library on mobile app? Yes. And it's a feature we really feel at its core is kind of for when we're in serious improver mode. I think of all the features on Chess.com, library works with Chessable super well. For those who don't know, go to chess.com/library now. You can organize your games. You can make favorites. You can put your best games. You can organize games by top players. It's very similar to ChessBase as far as having databases and files that you personally curated. Then you can analyze the game and then resave it and update it. So it's a self-study tool that is for serious learning. And so usually serious learning, Grimmer 4, happens when you're on a computer, right? And so I'm giving you the real insight into our thought process. It's not our highest priority to bring to mobile because I think it's a feature that is still going to be 95% used on web, even when we have it on mobile. And that doesn't get moved in our product roadmap because we got a lot of awesome features we're doing and our team is crushing it. So you feel me, dog, right? And so I do believe there's a world of having files accessible on your phone that can be super helpful before a tournament game. Never during a tournament game because that's cheating. But at the same time, I think there are other priorities for our mobile app and other things. And I'm kind of a believer that maybe library deserves its own app at some point. You know, for those who know about it, they would download it and use it. And then it's not kind of bloating the regular app experience, right? Because there's a lot to do on the Chess.com app if you haven't heard. And so that's kind of how we think about that. So hopefully that answers your question. Pot Jam Night. Danny, are you going to do stats on cheaters, people banned? You mentioned how important it is, but every event has issues. So normally when we do State of Chess, we bring up our report where we say, like, this month we closed this many people for cheating, closed this many people for abuse, closed this many people for title players for cheating, right? So the answer is we are doing all of those things. I think that unfortunately there are issues, just like there's issues with crime in the world. And I'm not comparing cheating at chess to murder or in any way, but I am saying that, like, people do bad things and then we catch them at doing it. And believe it or not, we are closing thousands of people every day for doing it. So there's issues, but that's in no way a reflection of our cheat detection, our processes, our systems. There's issues because people choose to do those things. You've seen the movie Minority Report. When they try to let Tom Cruise predict murder, now you're messing with free will, which gets existential and metaphysical, and you can't mess with free will. So I kind of throw that question back at Pot Jam Night because I believe there was a tone. I believe you had a tone with me, and your tone implied that we're not doing enough for cheating, and I don't like that tone because that's not fair. I think people are cheating, we're catching them, we're busting ass, and we're actually doing it better than anybody in the world and have been for a long time, and we're going to continue to do it. And our investment in events reflects that top players want to play it and they feel pretty good about it, and we're going to continue to do that. So if that wasn't your tone, I apologize for calling you out, but there's nothing we can do to stop people from doing bad things, and we're going to continue to invest in it. So help me, world. Help me tell people not to cheat, and then I won't have to catch them. Next question. Jokasinator, are there more cringe Fabi Hess commercials in the future? I miss those and I want more. I agree. There should be more cringe moments with Robert Hess and Fabiano Caruana, always. I just saw a question in real time from Boondock Striker that someone will bring later. We'll get to that question about whether there's going to be paid tournaments for under ratings, because I have a good answer for you. So we'll get to you, Boondock Striker. V Vermi, when will Duck Chess come to mobile? That's a fantastic question. Please, everybody go to Chess.com, click on the little question mark in the corner, and submit that question for Eric. Just because he loves it. No, jokes aside, I'm not going to do that to my guy. Duck Chess is built on a completely different tech stack, to use our terminology. Chess.com/variants, if you go there, where you can play Bug House and Crazy House and Fog of War and Duck Chess. It's a different team. It's not the same as the mobile, tech stack and language that we're working on for iOS and Android. And so it's not as simple as when we build something amazing to the variants that we just plug it into mobile, and it's almost easier to do its own app. And then you wonder, okay, is there enough of an appetite for it? So Duck Chess on mobile, frankly, Chess.com doesn't own Duck Chess. Chess.com doesn't own chess, right? Anyone can do that. And so we have a big community, and I think we try to invest in the best product of chess. That's what our business is on. But we don't own chess. We don't own any of the variants, and anyone can make amazing games and apps, and they should, right? I think that we try to have the best product for chess. We try to be the best place for people to learn, the best place for people to play, because nobody owns this incredible game that we love. It's been around since 600 AD. Nobody owns Duck Chess, but there is an inventor of it. But even he, I don't even know if he owns it. Maybe he does, but maybe he should be the guy who should invent who should do the Duck Chess app, because we're just trying to have the best community and the best place to play Duck Chess. But I don't know that we can possibly be the company who makes like every app for every type of chess variant. So maybe everyone email the guy who invented Duck Chess and ask him to make an app. Eric will be happy that I said that instead of him. You're welcome, Eric. Okay, 515 Rock Climber. Danny, is there any chance you'll be creating kids content either on Chess.com or Chess Kid? Me personally, oh man, I miss the days. Can you guys not tell that I have a little pent up energy when I get on these shows? You don't think I miss the days of just being a content creator? I'm trying to get canceled as a chief chess officer. If you haven't learned, I'm trying to get sued. I'm trying to get fired. This year, we crossed 100 million members. Yours truly's getting sued for 100 mil. I feel 100 years old. We're doing a 100-hour stream. So the sooner my life gets better and I'm doing content, the better for all of us. And I love doing kids content. I love teaching. I love doing videos. So answer your question, as soon as I can, I will do more content, and doing kids content will be on the top of that list. So anyway, there you go. Matt Incognito at Chess. Can we get Chess.com event in UK? Maybe. I don't know. Why not? Oh, wait, I skipped Boondock Striker. I want to answer this one. We have a ton of USCF online rated tournaments. Eduardo Carlos, if you haven't joined the club, we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Go join the club. So sorry, I skipped ahead. We're going to Boondock Striker. Here we go. Danny, is there any chance we can get paid tournaments for under 2,200, 1,500, and 1,100 players? So Carlos's question kind of relates to that. There are events that matter, not with prize and money, happening all the time. The USCF online rated ones is an active club, and you might want to join those. I would say that we're already doing tournaments with under prizes. You just have to stream Boondock Striker. Arena Kings is that event. Trim, if you could remind me what our prizes are for Arena Kings in our Slack channel here, we can bring it up in real time. But we have under prizes, and to be fair, I think that we have so many millions of members, 6 million daily active people log into chess.com to play chess. And we already have a lot of cash prize tournaments for title players and streamers. Adding those along with the level of quantity that we would be staring down is kind of a daunting task because of one particular topic, which is cheating, right? And so what did we try to do? We tried to create the verified program because everyone always says they want what you're saying, Boondock. But then when push comes to shove, if we say that we're going to do money tournaments for verified users, which, by the way, we're doing. Okay, so we have money tournaments for verified users still going. No one wants to get verified. We have Arena Kings, and all you have to do is stream. And everyone says they want it, but push come to shove, only 10,000 people signed up for verified, which had the promise of money events. So I wanted to bring up this question because I kind of throw it back at you. Like, we get this a lot, but what we've seen is most people love to play chess casually. They love chess.com for that. Then some like to play chess seriously. Some are professionals and they're qualified and to do that in big stages, and we invest in that. And then some are streamers. But not as many people want to play for prize events as they always say they do. And when we created an opportunity for them to show us that they didn't want to. Was that a failure on our part? Did we not market verified enough? I'm legitimately asking. Like, how many of you 8,000 people in chat actually knew that it was going to be only like $10 a year, and then you could play in monthly tournaments that have cash money on the line and more, and like our big global championships? How many of you knew that? Raise your hand. I'm asking. Because if you knew that and you chose not to get verified because you decided to throw us under the Elon Musk bus, that's hilarious, because you thought we were just charging you to get a blue check mark. That's not what it was. It was for events like this, and you didn't do it, right? So help me help you here, right? I think we will revisit it, but for now, Trim just threw up a great image which shows we have under 2,000, under 1,800, under 1,600, under 1,400, and under 1,200 prizes right now, every bleeping Wednesday, if you're a streamer. So Boondock, start streaming, and you literally will get access to cash prizes. In the meantime, until we get a lot more people signing a petition that says 100,000 of you would revisit verified, I will bring back verified. If I can get 100,000 people to say you would pay for verified, and it's not just a blue check mark, we are not Elon Musk charging you for that. It actually had purposes with experiences and access to events with cash prizes. If you would actually do that, then we'll bring it back. But until then, I love you. Thanks for tuning in. That's all I got to say on that. Bullet Mercenary. When are you organizing the CrossFitting Championships? Now, that is legit. That is legit something that we want to do, because Eric and I are obsessed with doing physical stuff with chess, but we don't want to get hit in the face. So we are going to do that. We actually are kind of organizing that semi in the works. If you want to actually send Eric an email, I can't give his email out live, but just send Eric a message on Chess.com, username Eric. He reads them all the time. Not like me. I never read my messages. Don't even send me a message. I'm just going to ghost you. But Eric will get back to you. And let him know that that you're interested in that. Yeah, by the way, speaking of Arena Kings, anybody can become a community streamer. I know that some people are like, I'm not going to stream because they think it's Hikaru or bust. That's not the case. A lot of people stream Arena Kings, and a lot of people stream every day, and they enjoy it. And we are investing in that community all the time. And it's also a bit of a fair play mechanism. The fact that you stream, you put yourself on camera, you share your screen, you go through those rigmaroles. Not to say that that's all we do for cheat detection, not even close. The algorithms do the heavy lifting. But that's what I throw back at Boondock Striker and everyone who wants it, is become a community streamer and get access to these prize events that we got right here in front of you, right? We've got the Arena Kings Total Prize Fund right now. Can we bring that up? Let's show them. There you go. 400 Twitch subs given out every week. God, how do they let me spend so much money? When did Eric and Bryce fall asleep at the wheel? I am spending so much of our money. We're going to spend $3.5 million on prize events this year, and that doesn't include production or staff or team. Who gave me access to the checkbook? Because I'm giving away too much money. 400 subs seems unnecessary. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, we probably could be giving away 100 subs a week, and we'd probably have the same amount of players streaming. I mean, I'm just being honest, right? Why are we giving 400 subs away? That seems like someone fell asleep at the wheel and let Danny get a little too frisky for his own good. I don't think things through. I went for the school for kids who don't think through things good, well, too good. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be giving away a ton of money, and I'm giving away more all the time. So awesome. That's like 400 subs, Trim. Who approved that? I approved that. I approved 400 subs a week. What is wrong with me? Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. Last question from Eman Chich. Danny, who got you into playing chess? It's not a question I'm going to answer at this time because it involves a life story that is rated R, and I may or may not be working on bringing that story to life through some form or medium of some kind. So I'm not going to tell you my whole life story about how I got into chess, because there's more on that to come. But I will say that I've been playing chess since I was 10 and enjoyed every minute of it, and am more than grateful to be a part of this community and where I accidentally sit from time to time, helping to do amazing things for chess. And thank you for that question. But more on that story to come. You don't want the PG version anyway. You want the rated R version, and you're going to get it, Eman. All right. Stevis5, you should reach out to Eric and tell him why you think that, because a lot of people disagree with you on play not being as good as live, but I want to agree with you, and I want to know what we can do to fix your experience. If you're experiencing anything at chess.com/play that we used to have at live that we don't have, that makes me unhappy. So Stevis5, send Eric, that's his username, ERIK, a message, and be specific, because he's the most in touch with product-minded, community-caring, focused CEO on the planet. I just said it. So that's who Eric is, and he will listen and get back to you. For those who don't know it, I challenge all other CEOs in the CEO gauntlet. I think Eric would also chessbox any other CEO in the world if they're into it. I'm just going to do everything I can to get him in trouble. Can we clip that? Eric just challenged every CEO in the world to chessboxing. 515 Rock Climber Danny, you're a top content creator, commentator, streamer, but you're also an IM. How do you balance all your other stuff? Sleep is overrated. Don't forget, I have 4 kids. And 4 kids is honestly, probably the dumbest thing I ever did. Did I just say that? Just kidding. No, it's actually, obviously, I love throwing my family under the bus because it's fun, but they are exhausting. Yeah, we'll say that. I have one that's going to be going off to college, and he will be missed soon. So Eric versus Elon, that is a chess boxing match that I would pay personal money to see. If we get a community crowdfunded like several $1 million, they'd probably need it, because I don't think Elon has as much money as he says. That guy, you know. I think what's going on over there is very confusing. I don't know what's going on. We're not going to go into that right now. Don't clip that. He'll cancel me on Twitter and take away my verified status that I didn't pay for. I assume every day I log in, I'm just going to lose my blue check mark because I'm not going to pay. And that'll be fun when that happens. Good luck to you, Twitter. Will chess ever again see the brilliant commentary of Hammer and Wrench? That would be a couple of tools. A couple of tools hanging out, wouldn't it? Hammer and Wrench. All right. Well, I think we've reached a good place. We're at peak viewership because people love this proverbial bleep. People love this stuff, when we just let our hair down and go wild. But unless someone asks a great question, I think we're going to get close to wrapping it up here, because my production team has worked incredibly hard recently, and long hours and days, and up ahead they've got so much. Let me just say, I mean, we're not checking out just yet, but we've got the FIDE World Rapid and Blitz Championship. We've got so much coming up after that. So plenty of chess coming around the holidays, and my team is working super hard. The team, the broadcast team, and everyone, the community team. So I don't want this to go on too long. So last thing, do I need any out of the box ideas? No. Who do you think you could beat in chess boxing? Everyone. That's the right mindset of a chess boxer. Did you watch my video on Twitter? Training with Matt Thomas for chess boxing? Go check out twitter.com/Daniel Wrench, at least for the next 5 minutes before the site crashes. And check out my video that I posted. I'm not throwing everyone under the bus. If you don't know my sense of humor at ATI3714, you haven't watched enough shows. I actually am just having fun, and it's all jokes and good fun. This is a good question from KLABUSAN. Are you planning to support physical chess boards? Yes. Did you know you can already hook up DGT to Chess.com for those who like to play with the DGT board? And we know it's a wave of the future. Playing online, but with a feel of a chessboard, is something people like. We're going to continue to work on it. Some of that tech is trickier than you think, just because everyone kind of has their own proprietary thing they're doing. And so that means we have to do it a dozen different ways for DGT and the Millennium board and the Square Off board. And now you've got, the Chess Up board that was on Shark Tank recently. Congratulations to the Chess Up guys, right? So there's a lot of stuff to that, but we believe in it, and so we will do our best to do it for you. Royal Fork 66 asked 17 questions in a row, and I ignored them. I don't know what the questions were, but I wasn't following chat in real time yet. You might have been asking troll-less questions, so maybe that's a you problem, but now that I'm paying attention to real chat, this is your chance. Danny is being extremely accessible like this, and answering hard questions is crazy, but also extremely awesome. Shout out to the entire Chess.com community, mods, behind the scenes, people, hosts, much love. Thank you. Beals Dub Chess. I appreciate that comment, and I appreciate your appreciation for it, because it matters a lot. And we respect the call, to action. Our job is to innovate, grow the game, and to be transparent and to be a beacon for the chess community. We are not perfect, and we receive a lot of criticism about how we do those things, and we get that. But this show is a big part of being transparent, showing you what we stand for, diving into tough stuff, and reminding you that our job as the industry leader is going to be continue to do two things at our core: innovate product and grow the game. That is the responsibility of every industry leader in every industry, as far as I'm concerned. Grow the market and innovate. Don't rest on your laurels, and that's what Chess.com is trying to do. So Bealsy Dub Chess, I appreciate that comment. I believe that is what our company is doing. And I appreciate the criticism that has come for many, many years on all the ways that we can and should and could do it better. And I hope we continue to rise to the occasion. So thank you for that comment, and we will continue to do our job as best we can. So I drive a Ford Explorer that I really don't like, YV and GW. I actually hate it. And it's not against Ford. I actually have driven Ford cars a lot, so Ford, don't take that the wrong way. I don't like this particular car. That is what I drive. A Ford Explorer. My wife drives a Toyota Sienna minivan. And yeah, we like to load up the kids. Sometimes when you're going on a long car trip, you need the minivan because you got that. You can throw down the back seats and really, really load. You'll be surprised how much junk you could fit in that trunk, huh? You know what I'm talking about, eh, Carla? The Toyota Sienna. That's our road trip car. Yeah, when we're throwing the kiddos in the back and heading on over to Lambeau. Anyway, all right. What else we got here? Dear Danny, when is the next Danny versus NBL Giant Chess? Next Singfield Cup. Danny, want to say you're my favorite chess commentator. I love you. Thank you. Papa Jokester, how does Chess.com help grow chess for lower income folks who don't have money to travel to tournaments or afford an online membership? Helps grow the game. I agree. Well, I think there's a lot of things you can do with a basic membership on Chess.com. You can. You probably have access to a local club that meets and doesn't necessarily charge money for it. I think there are a lot of opportunities to do that, right? And, you know, our main focus has been to add value for the things that we are asking premium members to support. I also think we try to at least keep the inspiration and love you have to play the game alive with these shows. So I would say Papa Jokester is that obviously there are features that are only available to premium, right? And we can't control everyone's travel budget to tournaments, but everything we bring you in terms of a show, you do watch a few ads from time to time, but you do that everywhere else from YouTube to Hulu and everywhere else, right? What we're bringing you here is the biggest events with the best players, with the biggest prize money and the best commentators, and we do it for free. We're not locking it down over a paywall. And I would say that our biggest investment that helps to serve and grow the game, Papa Jokester, is what you see right now on Twitch and what we're doing to invest from a content perspective. So if I was to really speak directly to that, I understand it's a bit of a challenging question. I would say that we're putting more into the game from a content and entertainment and to inspire and bring the joy of learning to people around the world for free than anybody in the world times 10. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And obviously we do appreciate our premium members and we appreciate the subscribers because they're kind of helping to make it possible. And our content kind of speaks for itself, right? And that's kind of what we do. So I think on that note, Danny's going to be out. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you. I say I love you and people go like, oh, you can't know all of us and love you. I actually do know all of you. I know where you live, what you eat, where you sleep. I'm like Santa Claus for those who celebrate that. Now, I posted an image to my Instagram yesterday that my daughter like drew a thing that said, dads are like Santa Claus, except in no way like Santa Claus. But that's it, Santa Claus. You know, that's what we're doing. We're gonna be out right there, and I'm gonna wish everybody happy holidays, regardless of what you celebrate around the world. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to take one last deep breath. This has been a long time coming. This has been a bit of a, as I said, throwing the ring into Mordor Frodo style. It is done when it comes to the acquisition of PMG. There's been a lot more to it than people think and a lot of hard work. So to everyone who kind of brought that to be possible, we genuinely believe that there's so much good stuff ahead for the Years of Chess. We are going to be talking in 10 years about, remember when they thought 6 million daily active users was a big deal? And now we're where we are, right? And we believe that's where we're headed. We hope you guys are all along with us for that journey. For the entire company of Chess.com, which is now one with the Play Magnus group, for all of us in the Chess family and the crew that works super hard, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the calendar year, because yours truly will not be on TV again until we are in the year of 2023. So my best wishes to all of you. Enjoy the holiday season. Be safe. For everyone, this has been the State of Chess.com. I'm Danny Wrench, and thank you for watching.
3,